All right, hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mast, and welcome to the deadlock patch of, I would say, the century, but honestly, it might only be of the next couple of months. We'll have to see if they go even crazier in the near future when we start heading towards open beta. So, a lot of people have been waiting for what we've presumed would be a giga patch, and people that have followed the Deadlock subreddit and maybe some other things that would share Deadlock related media have been waiting to see what the leaks would actually end up leading to, because there have been some leaks where someone who will go unnamed and is a good person and deserves no hate, he didn't get any hate for it, may have accidentally leaked a variety of incoming heroes that that are being tested out in private. And then also there have been leaks from other people that are just kind of random anonymous people in like the Discord and other stuff like that about a shop rework incoming. So this is the shop rework. This is not a bunch of new heroes, at least as far as I have seen in the patch notes. They have not revealed any new heroes. But shop rework update is a very big update and is going to make a crazy difference to how the game plays, and I am very excited to get into it. I've seen a lot of this stuff already because I was recording a patch notes video and I felt like it was getting a little long and tedious in terms of how much stuff I talked about because I was just reading through the entire thing. And while there is a lot of cool stuff that is absolutely worth talking about, I'm going to limit how many of those things we are reading. So, shop rework update. Let's get into it, man. This is the deadlock patch that, at least up until this point, is by far the biggest. I don't think it's close. It is going to make a massive difference in how the game plays. The game is going to feel a lot more polished. It's very, very exciting stuff. So, shop rework update. Full shop rework, including many new items, build authoring, quick buy redesign, and several other game updates. Let's start with the shop redesign. Full shop rework, including many new items. We will get into game. We will see map changes. We will see item changes. We will check it out. Item slots are now all universal rather than tree specific. That is a big change. And to go along with it, total slot count has been reduced from 16 to 12. So if anybody had heard, I don't remember who had started this, there was a potential rumor that we were going to have 2 of each item slot for each color. You would have 2 weapon items, 2 vitality items, 2 spirit items, and then 2 flex slots. That is not what's going to happen. You are now going to have way more flexibility in the items you buy. You are going to have slightly more limited options in terms of total item variety. And then there are going to be farm changes to go along with those. And I think from what I remember of the farm changes, overall, it will now realistically be easier to build into tier 4 items and tier 3 items as you get deep in the game because of that limited slot count. I don't think the farm got changed to such a degree that it seemed like it would actually overall make it so that like it's harder to really get as deep of a build. So yeah, crazy stuff. Tons of new items. You can now hypothetically build 12 greens, assuming you have all the flex slots unlocked. Items have been moved around in trees and rebalanced and stuff like that, which we'll get to see in game. Yeah, it's going to make a big change just that alone. Even ignoring the new items, this does a lot right here and will be very fun to play around with. Item costs are now discounted when you own the component. New artwork for all item icons, reworked how tier bonuses work in the shop. They're no longer based on each item you buy, but instead based on your total spend in a tree. Bonuses are not linear, so maxing out one tree fully is an optimal bonus-wise. Various item names have been changed, and items now glow when there's an upgrade to buy. So with these right here, I haven't actually checked this out for sure in game to confirm, but I believe what it's saying is basically now if you're buying something like Boundless Spirit, you will not have to pay 9,800 souls for Boundless Spirit. It will cost the normal tier 4 price, I think is what it's saying. Of course, new artwork, which is very cool and we'll get to check out. The tier bonuses, for anybody confused on what that is referring to like tier 1 for weapons, you get 6%, tier 2 for weapons, you get 10% in terms of weapon damage. So like those bonuses you get based on color. Are now going to scale a bit differently based on spend in the tree rather than item purchased. So it's like if you spent 20k souls on greens, you're going to get like a pretty big boost, but it's also not going to scale linearly. So getting that crazy 20k souls into greens isn't going to give you a stupid amount of vitality, but it'll still be pretty good. So it's just a decent change to the way scaling works for it is all. So build authoring, I think we're going to skip past. There is a decent amount of stuff in here. I will, of course, as always, link the patch notes in the description for anybody who wants to read them. But for a lot of people, this will just be tedious, unnecessary. So we'll skip past that. We'll skip past quick buy and move on to base and map updates for anything as far as looking at items and looking at map changes. We will do that at the end. There aren't a crazy amount of map changes for the most part, but it is still cool. The general structure of the map is still largely intact, but there were big changes to the base, and there were quite a few art touch-ups to make the map continue to look better and better as they continue to work on it. So, new base design. We don't need to read all these different little things, but there's a new base design on each side. It makes a big difference. There's a general new structure to the base, as we'll see later on. The mid lane area has been changed a little bit as far as the ropes in the corners. So not the ropes on the sides, but the ropes in the corners that get you down into mid. Those buildings have been tweaked a little bit to play a little bit different. And then honestly, I think other than that, it's really probably the main stuff worth talking about as far as structure is concerned. I went into game. I still have not found this rope they're talking about. I don't know how lost I am. I have no clue what rope they're talking about over here. And yeah, that's really, for now, that's really all we're going to talk about for the map changes, because we'll just look at it later in game. Should be good. Soul Orb mechanics. This is absolutely worth talking about here in the patch notes. Players gain back ammo when claiming an orb. I have not tested this yet. I do not know how much ammo it is. I don't know if it's percentage or flat. Improved reliability of Soul Orb claims when experiencing momentary packet loss or latency. Reworked visual effects to more clearly communicate when they are claimable or expiring. Reworked client feedback when shooting a soul prior to being awarded the souls. And Soul Orbs no longer automatically claim when colliding with the world. I think it is safe to bet this just means when it collides with a world, it will now either continue to move with that collision, or it will actually get stuck in place, and it'll still be shootable just like normal, and it will still expire just like normal. And basically, it's not going to automatically pop, and there's going to be a little bit more actual CSing when you get those shenanigans where it's like, oop, went into a corner, instant pop type stuff. So that should just feel generally better. It'll be a little bit more like a balloon where it might get stuck in a corner and you got to shoot it. Game feel and optimization improved unit targeting logic, networking, add method to smooth player jitter that may result from non-ideal networking conditions, fixed jittery motion for various in-world UI elements such as targeting and zip lines, improved fairness in hit registration between high ping and low ping players during ability use and when shooting troopers, fixed a rare bug, quotes around the rare, that would cause melee hits to have an incorrect range on the server. Yeah, super rare bug, guys. Did not happen. Did not happen every 5 minutes. Fixed various scenarios causing networking related jitter when climbing ropes, reduced jitter from mispredictions while ziplining near another player. You guys might notice sometimes when you like stack on somebody, even coming out of base to start the game, the zip lines can get real wonky when you're colliding with somebody. This should be at least somewhat better. Maybe not fixed, but at least somewhat better. Fixing issues with mid predicting and bad stuttering when going around corners on zip lines. Movement. Air acceleration has been increased to improve wall jump controls, but only while moving at lower speeds. Wall jump launch has been simplified. There's now just one launch direction, but in combination with increased air acceleration, the same variety of moves is still possible. Fixed cases where it was impossible to mantle ledges to the left or the right of your wall jump direction just after a wall jump. Fixed and improved control over air dashes just after a wall jump. Wall jump fatigue affects the vertical launch only and recovers at a faster pace of 1.25 seconds instead of 2 seconds. So this should encourage long lateral jumps while keeping chimneying in check, which is basically referring to doing more horizontal focused wall jumping rather than more vertical focused wall jumping when wall jump fatigue is like actually affecting it. So fixed a bug where using melee on the ground triggered wall jump fatigue. Wall detection for wall jumps now takes into account all walls in a small radius around the player and not just the last wall that's been touched. Changes to wall jump behavior have reduced the effectiveness of corner boosting a little bit, which is a bug where you can kind of rocket launch yourself into the air. At least I think it's a bug. They're referring to it as corner boosting, which is what it's like normally referred to. But I'm assuming they don't want this and they just haven't been able to completely take it out yet. So basically there's kind of a thing you can do where you can jam yourself into a corner wall jump and just launch yourself into the air. So it should be less effective now. While wall sliding, terminal velocity is in effect for vertical speeds only at a number that should mean absolutely nothing to anybody that's not a dev, I'm pretty sure. And then mantle glide, holding crouch or crouch toggle while exiting a mantle creates a small speed boost, allowing you to slide out of mantles, which will be interesting. Camera, some various camera tweaks that will actually be nice and worth noting. So various fixes for camera positions when characters push the camera into the ceiling, in rare situations like Vindicta and Abrams ults into the skybox ceiling or into like a room ceiling, I would assume. Characters, guardians, walkers, and shrines will fade to a minimum transparency. We'll get to check this out in game as they get too close to the camera. So basically, if you're like fighting kind of through a walker, it'll just like fade. It'll just be like kind of not necessarily invisible, but much easier to just simply see through. So you can like trade through walkers defensively now without it being all hard to see what you're actually doing. Soft camera collision, as you move, the camera anticipates walls approaching from behind and to the right of your character, resulting in less sudden jolts and smooth near-far camera paths when turning in constricted spaces. Miscellaneous gameplay. It says miscellaneous. These are some big changes though. Changing the third flex slot unlock from killing all walkers to killing 2 walkers. Pretty big change. Now you're going to get that third flex slot a lot faster in most cases. It is going to be much more important to defend that second walker, and you are so often killing 2 walkers significantly faster than you're killing 3 walkers, at least in terms of even games. Normally, if you're stomping, it's easy enough to get all 3 walkers down, but in games that are pretty even, of course, you're going to tend to have the team really rallying together for that last walker. So now that's going to play a lot different, where you have to rally together for that second walker, which is going to be a lot harder to coordinate for and will definitely make a big difference as far as objectives are concerned. Changing last flex slot from base guardians and shrine to just base guardians. I can't tell if it's saying just the base guardians in one lane or all of them. I am assuming it is in one lane. It seems like they would definitely specify if it referred to all of them. And in that case, that is a very big change as well. I mean, either way, it would be a big change, but like I think it's a very safe assumption that it should just be one lane. Because, oh my God, this just wasn't that important to do before. It is now very important to do before. That is crazy. Getting base guardians is really not that hard. So I think it's safe to assume getting one lane's base guardians is going to make a big difference now in terms of the way that you can build items. And again, flex slots are kind of a bigger deal than they were before because you're getting limited slots now. And then they're also like general item flexibility has been increased for your original slots, but you now have fewer slots. So those flex slots are going to have a larger overall impact on builds, even though the flexibility part doesn't matter as much anymore. So, or well, basically doesn't matter anymore. But players now start with 400 souls. That is going to be interesting, that you'll kind of come into lane, shoot a little bit, and then be able to buy something like immediately. I think it is kind of a safe bet. Is that literally first wave you could hypothetically buy something. Adjusted the boon reward schedule and added some more levels to it. You now also gain spirit per boon and adjusted spirit on various abilities and items to compensate. So with that, I think it is safe to assume the reason they're doing that, if you guys didn't know, guns do scale with level, and boons are basically like levels. Wait. Okay. Whew. I had to go actually check real quick. I was like, wait a minute. For a second, I'm thinking that somehow these boons are going to be like in my head, I was mixing up boons from like golden shrines and then actually from leveling, but no, it is actually from leveling. I was mixing up terms in my head. So yeah, when you're leveling, you're now going to gain spirit, as you already gained before, weapon damage, or bullet damage to be more specific. So before you automatically, you would do more gun damage as the game got longer and you continued to effectively level up through souls. Now you're going to also have spirit scale through souls as well, but then they are making adjustments so that you're not just going to inherently be like stronger now if you're a spirit-based character. At least ideally, you're not going to just inherently be stronger now if you're like 7 or somebody that would really get crazy value out of that. So that is a good change. It's just, so you know, before made plenty of sense. It's like, okay, one side of the offense scaled from leveling, the other didn't. Now both scale. All hero stats have been rebalanced alongside the shop rework. Just casually throw that in there. Just every hero is now balanced differently. Adjusted objective health values. Every objective just has different values now. Casually throw that in. Shields have been reworked. This is a big one. They are now called barriers. That is not a big one. You can already kind of call them barriers if you wanted to. They are no longer multiple damage types. They also now interact normally with resistances. Oh my God, this is a crazy change. So if you guys did not know, I think by far the vast majority of people that are actually playing the game at least should know this, unless you're new to it, but maybe you were in the dark. Barriers did not stack with resistance before. So if you had like 50% of a resistance and a barrier to go with it, the barrier would take the same amount of damage when damaged, no matter what. Didn't matter they had resistance. It just treated it like you had 0% resistance. And to be fair, it also did this for negative. So if your pocket who starts with negative spirit resist, barriers were a little bit extra impactful because of that. It's kind of like helping compensate for your negative spirit resist. So now these stack with resistance, which means like before they still worked, they still blocked things. They just didn't get the bonus from resistance. Now they get the bonus from resistance. So if you have 50% spirit resist and a 500 spirit barrier, rather than taking what would be like 500 damage at 0% resistance to break the barrier, it would now take the equivalent of 1,000 damage to break that barrier, which is going to make a very big change to defensive building, where barriers and resistance actually pair well together. You're going to focus potentially on intentionally combining them. Characters like Warden and Wraith, who have actual like barrier abilities in their kits. Wraith's a little weird to refer to because she gets hers like as she levels up her 2 pretty significantly. Wardens just kind of actually exist to begin with, but that is going to be a big boost for them as far as building resistance is concerned. They can actually spec into that pretty hard. So yeah, big changes there. Hero kill comeback values have been reduced by 15%, but this is going to make a big difference as well. The losing team now gains up to 25% more souls from troopers, neutrals, vaults, and objectives based on how far behind they are, with a peak at 20% of a difference in max net worth, and their first 3K in net worth is ignored. So for example, if it's 10K to 7K, there's no difference. You just get the same farm. There's a 3K difference, but this 3K is ignored. So everybody's farming the same amount. But if it's like 20K to 15K, then you're getting more of a boost as the losing team. You're starting to get a little bit more farm. You can start coming back a bit. Really where this is going to tend to stand out by far the most is going to tend to be deeper into a game or with a really big stomp, normally from like 10, 20 minute mark on, where it's more like 60 to 80K, 100 to 120K, stuff like that, as you can start getting more and more farm on the losing team. And it's on the winning team to actually push their advantage, or potentially deny farm to make it harder for the other team to come back and push that advantage and actually like keep them from coming back. Because otherwise this is going to happen and probably happen fairly quickly. Of course, this scales based on net worth as well. So like, you're not just going to keep this up and just magically catch up. Like it's going to continue to diminish as you get closer and closer. But this is going to be a pretty big change for coming back in the game, that it's less PvP focused, more PvE focused, as it should be. And a little more, losing side friendly now. Zipline got quite a few changes. Zipline boost speed reduced from 130% to 80%, significantly slower. 80 seconds has been added onto the cooldown. It's now a 6-minute zipline boost cooldown. It now glows when there's a boosted player on it. So if you're like attacking a lane, somebody boosts on in, it is no longer, surprise, lash rotated, we've been lash ulted, we're dead. You're going to be able to like see the difference in the glow if you're paying attention for it and be like, ooh, somebody's coming, we should maybe dip, or we should at least maybe take cover or something like that, right? And then zipline walker nodes have been adjusted a little bit. When the walker is contested, the last active defending zipline node is now behind the walker instead of right on top of it. So it's a little harder to get back and actually defend it right away. Less value out of getting that kind of like zipline jump over them to potentially get like an Abrams slam or just generally get closer or whatever while defending it. And then dismount momentum from a zipline has been a little bit reduced. I don't know how much, but like zipline dismount momentum is kind of crazy. So this is a good change. Trooper bounty split has been tweaked a little bit. It's now less effective when you're in larger groups. It is not going to matter for lane. The 100/60% split as solo/duo is staying the same, but is going to go down a little bit at 3 people and is going to continue to go down significantly more all the way to 6 people. Normally this probably doesn't matter too much. It's really honestly realistically going to mostly stand out right here at this third person going down 5%. There aren't too many scenarios where you're actually farming very much and getting too many souls as anywhere from 4 to 6 people. So I don't think this will actually be too much of a change, but I do think it makes sense where it's continuing to punish people more and more, farming waves or whatever it may be, as 6 people. And it's specifically trooper bounties, not like kills or anything, which potentially would be like a crazy change is changing kill bounties, but it's just troopers. So Sidewalker HP, going a little bit back to how it used to be, is getting changed from having less than 22% less health compared to the Midwalkers. It's now 40% less health compared to the Midwalkers. Again, objectives got their health changed. I don't remember, it might not even show it in here exactly what those health values are now. But effectively, like it used to be, Sidewalkers are now, well, I say it used to be, I want to say once upon a time it was the same, and then they made them significantly different, and then they like rebalanced the difference. So now it's back to when they were significantly different, where side lanes are much easier to push compared to the middle lane. Decrease the height of the walker's stomp ability from 9 meters to 6 meters. Let's see, most of the stuff's kind of subtle. Increase the distance that the walkers attack by a little bit. And then this one, I don't entirely know what it's actually referring to. Backdoor protection range check increased by 5 meters. It sounds like it's saying people are managing to cheese backdoor protection. And so now the backdoor protection range is a little bit increased, but I'm having trouble picturing this like being an issue. So I don't know if there's like some cheese I don't know about or what. But for anybody that doesn't know, backdoor protections are basically just like when there's no minions, you do less damage to objectives. Pretty normal thing in MOBAs. Power-ups now spawn at 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes is a crazy change. You will now be potentially fighting over those objectives very early on. So that'll be fun to play around with. They've been rebalanced a bit too. Breakables now spawn at 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes. So not as exciting as the power-up change, but you can now actually go after those a little earlier on. They still respawn at the same rate. Soul breakable chance increased from 50 to 60%. Golden statue breakable chance increased from 40 to 50%. So basically just when you're getting souls out of boxes, golden statue boons. See, I want to call them boons. What are they called, man? I don't remember what those are called. But yeah, maybe people have been calling them boons and it's just like the wrong term. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But basically it's a little more likely that you'll get those from golden statues and from boxes and stuff. So minimap now shows what kind of power-up is spawned. So if a casting buff spawns on the right side, you'll be able to see just from the map alone, which is cool. Generally speaking, at higher and higher levels, people don't really have time to react to that a lot of the time. It's going to just be like, buffs are up, who's immediately on top of it, give it a punch type stuff. Especially with them spawning at 5, that might get crazy contested at 5 minutes. since that's so early on, I feel like it'll be very easy to get organized around. Well, like not necessarily easy to get organized around, but like people are going to be all over that shit, especially when the patch is just so brand new. Teleporters now start available at the beginning of the game rather than 8 minutes, which could potentially allow for some spicy rotations. I think now that the teleporters are gone from the center of the side lanes, this probably isn't a crazy change. I think where it'll mostly stand out is if you're really paying attention to defending your guardians at the beginning of each lane, potentially going back to walkers, teleporting to the other side, and going down the zip is going to be like an option that's more available now very early in the game. But I think that'll mostly be it as far as its impact. So walker resistance based on nearby enemies increased from 0 to 40% to 0, and then another 0 for just 2 people, all the way up to 50%. So basically, when you are sieging a walker, the way it scaled before was it's got no extra resist. If you're alone, it's got a little bit more if you have 2, and it just continues to scale linearly up to 6 people at 40%. And now is 1 or 2, it's got no extra resistance, but it very quickly takes a massive jump at 3, and then continues to scale linearly up to 50% at 6. So basically just easier to take as 1/2 people, and then harder to take as 3 or more people compared to before. Bullet and spirit resist for being near a walker, this is defensively, has been reduced from 25% to 15%, so you're now no longer as strong while defending underneath a walker. And then the radius has been reduced a little bit as well, so it doesn't reach quite as far, reduced by 3.5 meters there. Neutral bounties have been increased by 6%. Healing area turrets damage increased by 20%. Healing area turrets damage. What the hell does this mean? Healing area, what is this? I don't know. It's been increased by 20% though. Yeah, like did they mean trooper? I don't think so, right? I don't know what the hell this is. Base, they mean like in the base, right? They mean in the base, healing area turrets. Are they just not calling this like the fountain? They don't have like a term for it yet? I think that's what it has to be. So fountain turrets hit stronger now, I think is what they're saying. It seems very randomly thrown in when they're just talking about walkers. This almost has to be it. So like automatically, like if you're diving fountain, it does even more damage now. Has been buffed? I'm pretty sure that would actually make sense. Base trooper bounty reduced from 144 to 132. So again, I kind of referenced that earlier. Of course, there's been a big difference to sort of what the actual value of farm is because item slots have been reduced by 25% compared to last patch. So that going down as a total, especially considering how much it's focused on flex slots now, is a pretty big deal. And having that limited amount, naturally farm is going to go down as well, because otherwise people are going to be a lot more quickly jamming like tier 4 items in and stuff like that. But it's not a crazy change, and it's not equal to the amount of item slots that have been lost. So like I was talking about earlier, I think overall definitely should expect to see more tier 3, more tier 4 items in a build, assuming that you have like the same length of game and stuff. But not like an absurd amount, not like every slot is a tier 4 or anything like that. So buff changes, these are just changes to make it so that now that it's a 5-minute start rather than 10-minute start, they're going to start weaker and not be as strong as they would be otherwise, which makes total sense. So generally speaking, these are basically like a 20-ish% nerf. So min fire rate on gun from 15% to 12%, min ammo from 30% to 20%, min health from 250 to 200, min regen from 0.75% to 0.5%, min spirit power from 20 to 15, CD reduction from 15% to 12%, and then on movement, sprint reduced from 2 meters to 1.5 meters speed per second, and power-ups now start scaling at those 5 minutes rather than from 10 minutes when they spawned before, which again just makes sense. This is a big one. I did not know this was not a thing yet. Debuff resistance now stacks diminishingly. We had that gone over with like lifesteal a while ago. Yeah, debuff resistance is a pretty big part of the game right now. Absolutely makes sense to tone this down. There are a lot of really big CCs that you definitely want debuff resistance and generally debuff remover for. It is such a big part of the game. So this will now be less impactful, where it's like more difficult to kind of cheese getting like unstoppable, debuff remover. I think there's another item that just kind of casually comes with some debuff resist that you can throw together, where of course like debuff remover, you can pop the active, unstoppable, you can pop the active. But aside from that, they punish debuffs really significantly. And now it's going to be less so because they're going to stack diminishingly. So increased dash slow cap from minus 40% to minus 50%, and upgraded items now share the cooldown of the consumed item. So if you use healing right and then upgrade into healing nova, it no longer resets the cooldown and then lets you casually just cast healing nova right after. So that's kind of like a cheesy thing you could do before that's been changed. We will skip past a lot of this general stuff. It's actually, hang on, before we skip, one thing, maybe a few things worth noting. But the main thing worth noting that I think is just very nice little quality of life thing that was kind of no reason to have before is net worth decimals or net worth display decimals now show up until 10K rather than at 5K. So it's easier for a while to tell like farm discrepancies in lane for the early stage of the game. And then also there are some changes to like trooper and ally health bars where you can now see them through walls more often, basically. So like troopers are visible through walls during the laning phase, ally health bars visible through walls in the laning phase in addition to x-ray, or not in the laning phase, just in general. Nearby creep x-rays also visible through walls, blah, blah, blah. Basically just easier to tell what's going on with minions. Of course, you cannot x-ray enemy heroes through walls. That would be something else entirely. And then another thing worth mentioning in here is basically movement items can now be properly cast while climbing ropes, which will be potentially interesting, but I think it's like a very specific scenario. Normally you just hop off the rope and cast it, but occasionally will be a thing. And then other than that, we will skip past audio stuff. There are some basic things in here that you would expect with any major patch where it's like, ooh, this just kind of sounds better now. And let me see, I think there's a specific thing that I wanted to note, but now I can't see it for some reason. Like new footstep material sweetener sounds. There was something more. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't know. You can pull up the patch if you care. Audio is going to probably sound better and stuff, basically, right? User interface stuff. I think most of these we can skip past as well. I want to really quickly skim, make sure I'm not missing anything important. When stunned or disarmed, the reticle now changes state and displays a duration meter. That'll be helpful. And I think that's going to largely be it. Yeah? I think that's going to largely be it as far as anything we need to be concerned about. I feel like this is basically the same. Yeah, I think we should be good there. So moving on to some hero changes. Abrams added new animation logic support for Siphon Life and items. Base duration increased on shoulder charge from 1.2 seconds to 1.4 seconds. That's not the stun, that's the actual duration of the charge. T1 is now on Hero Collide plus 25% weapon damage for 8 seconds. Tier 2 is now minus 12 second cooldown, and Tier 3 is now 0.2 second extra stun duration and 40% move slow for 4 seconds. So before this would have been a flat weapon damage boost at max rank, a duration increase at second rank, and a cooldown decrease at first rank, and it was a bigger cooldown decrease. So shoulder charge has been very heavily nerfed overall, I would say, where potentially the stun duration is going to be pretty nice, and potentially the movement slow will be pretty nice. But the weapon damage, while it could be good early game, it's going to be significantly harder to find charges early game because the cooldown is going to be so much longer, and then you don't have as much duration once it's upgraded. So even though that base duration has been improved, it's still not as good as it was at tier 2 before. So generally less reliable as a CC. You can't cast it as often. You can't reach as far with it. You do get a little more damage in the early game. That's probably not that big of a deal. This is just an overall nerf in the cooldown reduction. It was, I want to say 20 seconds. Now it's 12. That's a big nerf. But eventually you do get a little extra stun duration, a little more general CC, but you don't get that big weapon damage boost that would be a lot bigger than the 25%. So a lot of changes to shoulder charge. New cycle in precast goose step. No clue what that means. We probably won't find out. That's very specific. I don't know how many of these hero checks or hero changes will actually check out in game. Added support for shoulder charging while in the air. New sounds added for hitting heroes, troopers, and walls. Radius increased on the ult by 1.5 meters. New effects. Fixed crash down sound triggering twice. Tell me they fixed the ult getting stuck, man. I'm not seeing that in here. It gets stuck way too often. New sounds added in for in-air looping sound and descend sound. Added new out-of-combat run and sprint animations, new crouch animations, improved hip fire animations, added custom jump catapult animation, and alternate jump animation when using fans and mystic leap, etc. Okay. Refined jump start to be cleaner, added custom zipline boosted loop, added zipline swinging animations. So many different animation changes to Abrams. It seems like it's mostly specifically him that's getting significantly reworked. I'm assuming to go along with like the art changes that he's been getting. Fixed regression, where Abrams Siphon Life and Shoulder Charge Ping VO were swapped. Removed competing camera modifier on seismic impact. Blah, blah, blah. So there's only one more line, but I don't think it really mattered. So Bebop Exploding Uppercut fixed and missing uppercut hero impact sound. Reworked code to reduce mispredicts on hook. When Bebop hooks a trooper, only Bebop will hear the hook success sound now. Interesting. Fix the hoop sometimes not breaking. The hook, oh my god, I cannot say this right now. Fix the hook sometimes not breaking when the target is stuck. Fix the target sometimes not being positioned in front of Bebop when Bebop rotated. Hyper beam fixed damaging enemies through thin walls. Yeah, nothing too crazy there really, to be honest. Main thing is just going to be the sound is no longer audible to other people when it hooks a trooper, which will make it potentially more or less predictable depending on which side you're on. Calico Leaping Slash fixed animation getting stuck when stunned during the ability cast. Dynamo, new updated model and animations. Ooh, we will have to check that out. We'll have to see Dynamo in game. Kinetic Pulse, tier 1 fire rate slow now matches the move slow. Quantum Entanglement added small LERP. I have no clue what that is. To VFX for the teleport and smoothed out camera transitions. LERP. What a term. Rejuvenating Aurora, effects revision to center focus on the head. Singularity, updated effects revisions. Increased tick rate equals out to roughly the same DPS overall, but it's smoother. Hero pose ambient VFX added. Reload effect revisions. Fixed announcer match start line to be spoken by the friendly announcer. Various tooltip fixes. Grey Talon, base. Oh my god, my voice is dying, man. There's so much talking. Base bullet damage, spirit power scaling reduced from 0.09 to 0.07. Pretty big hit. Spirit Snare added physical elements to the AoE visuals. Charge Shot tier 3 spirit power scaling reduced from 1.3 to 1.2. That's pretty minor. Haze voice actor or voice. What does VO stand for? It basically is voice actor, but I can't remember what the O stands for. Remastering pass. Haze sleep no longer wakes up from damage over time. Oh, that's actually really spicy. So like if somebody's afterburned and you sleep them, assuming you don't hit them other than the afterburn, they're actually not going to wake up from that. So that actually has quite a few spots where that could be a really big deal, where somebody's just dotted by like Infernus, Afterburn, Shiv Dagger, something like that, where you can now play it more reliably around the sleep, which is cool. Holiday Powder Keg fix being able to spawn barrels on the other side of thin walls. I did not know about that. Bounce Pad fix a bug where bounce pads might force you back to the ground after use. Spirit Lasso. Holiday now plays VO when she lands a hit with her lasso as opposed to when she casts her lasso. She won't shoot him if she didn't actually grab anyone. But what if you should shoot him anyways? What if it's just helpful? It's like, hey, shoot him, please, please. Infernus. Catalyst. Projectile no longer slides against geometry. I don't even know what this is actually referencing to. Sounds like it's just basic bug fix. Ivy, Watcher's Covenant, fix not replicating healing from bullet lifesteal. It worked with other sources of bullet lifesteal. Stone Form, fix cast down being delayed and increased its volume. Fix interaction with air vents and small geometry. Airdrop adjusted a bunch of stuff. Visuals to have higher contrast. Ally cast range increased from 8 meters to 12 meters. Slow duration reduced by a second down to 3 seconds. Radius reduced from 14 to 12 meters. Combat barrier reduced. That's with the rank up in it, from 200 to 150. Combat barrier spirit power scaling reduced from 2.5 to 1.5. That's a big hit to the combat barrier. And tier 1 duration reduced from 12 to 8 seconds. Barrier reduced from 300 to 200. And then silence reduced from 4.5 to 3 seconds. Oh my god. Oh, I was forgetting. Does Ivy actually get barrier just from default with the ult? They add that into that, and that used to be a thing, and I just haven't played Ivy yet since I've come back, so I didn't even know about it. I don't know. I swear it didn't used to be a thing. Maybe I just missed out on that at some point. So this is like actual base rank ult. This is the upgrade in ult. So Kelvin Ice Path reduced how sticky the ice path is for allies. It's a little more slippery now. Okay. Arctic Beam fixed damaging enemies through thin walls. That'll be a nice change. That beam can get so annoying. So sometimes you would be in a spot where you'd barely be covered through a wall and it could just hit you anyways. Lady Geist, Life Drain. You're now only slowed when Life Drain is damaging a target. Because it does slow you a little bit on Geist, so it's now going to be a little bit more effective in general. Lash, base spirit resist reduced from 15% to 10%. That's fair. Fine, a nerf to the Lash. Ground Strike, spirit scaling reduced from 0.05 to 0.04 for anybody confused by the very absurd small number right there. That is for like the distance scaling, not the original strike scaling. So as you get a bigger and bigger slam from higher and higher in the air, it's no longer getting quite as much spirit scaling as before. Fixed a bug that caused Ground Strike to push the victim under the world. I don't know if I've caught that, unless that's referencing, I've seen people get kind of like flattened by it. They get like this weird almost prone effect, which is a bug, but I don't think I've seen anybody get slammed through the map before. That's funny. Updated ability icon for Flog, UI lock-on revisions to simplify readability for Death Slam. That sounds nice. Fixed channel effect on Death Slam to not disappear prematurely. New sounds added for lock-on success sounds, in-air looping sound, victim impact sounds, and a miss sound when Lash does not successfully grab anybody or he cancels the ability early. Oh my god, McGinnis got changes. Oh, McGinnis got changes. We got to check this out in game. New updated model and animations. Bullet growth reduced from 0.311 to 0.29. Bullet velocity increased from 590 to 650. That's a decent boost. No longer has plus 15% base bullet resist. Now has +1 spirit or +1% spirit resist per boon. Which I'm trying to remember. They said they added boons, right? So that probably goes up to like 20 now, would be my guess. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. I don't remember what it would potentially go up to. But mini turret updated DPS tooltip to properly reflect the correct number, updated ambient tracer and muzzle flash effects. No longer has a 3-second lifetime minimum. They now spawn with 60% resistances of both types that decay over 6 seconds, and tier 3 duration reduced from 18 seconds to 14 seconds. Thank God, man. This was such a garbage change. I don't know who cooked it up. I love Valve. I love Deadlock. I think so much of the stuff they put in is actually really sick. Oh my God, this was awful. The 3-second minimum lifetime change in McGinnis turret, where it just automatically gets to do its thing for 3 seconds, then dies. And then at least for a while, it was hard to tell if you'd even like fully killed it, fully taken out its health bar, so it would eventually die. It is now just inherently tankier, slowly gets less tanky as time goes on. Way better change. Oh my God, it's so much better change. So yeah, that should be good. Medicinal Spectre, her 2, effects revision and improvements, fixed an audio buildup when multiple characters were being healed, now provides plus 15% stamina regen, little tweak, this should be pretty subtle. Tier 3 reduced from 4% extra healing based on max HP to 3.5%. Spectral Wall, fixed missing sound as it travels before deploy. Kind of curious what it'll sound like now. The last 2 segments on the left and right sides of Spectral Wall will now turn, will now turn towards a nearby wall if there is one. I'm having trouble picturing how that'll actually look, but that could be pretty big. Duration reduced from 5 seconds to 4.5. Cooldown increased by 4 seconds up to 50. And then the tier 2 gets a little bit less cooldown reduction down to 20 seconds from 22, and reduce the stun duration from 1 second to 0.75 seconds. It's so much talking, man. It is so hard to keep getting these things out fast while saying so many lines. Oh my God. While having to actually read, while having to actually put myself back in school and do the reading thing. It's fine. I'm not Gen A. I actually still read a decent amount. I can take it. Maybe you guys can't. I read things that aren't on an iPad anymore, that aren't on a phone. I don't know why I'm randomly taking shots. I'm sorry. Spectral Wall. Wait, I guess we got through all the Spectral Wall stuff. Heavy Barrage, projectile and ambient effect revisions. Now allows full movement while channeling the ability. That might be fucking terrifying. Oh my goodness, is back, baby. Oh my God, what was the, what did I call the build? I think the thumbnail I used said bombing run, but I don't remember what I called it. When we did the Majestic Leap McGinnis ult build, that shit was fucking hilarious. Oh my God, it is so back on the menu. We are going to be schmoovin'. Fixed a bug where the camera would not zoom out during the ability if user setting was set to quick cast, okay. Now slows your dash usage by 30%. Wait. Oh, silly me. Full movement was not referring to you can move full speed. It was referring to you can use stamina in your ult now. Wow. Okay. So Arcane, I guess it wouldn't matter because you'd be using it before the ult. I was going to say Arcane Surge McGinnis ult is now a thing. It still wouldn't exactly change. I also don't know for sure if Arcane Surge is still in the game. We'll have to see. Yeah, anyways, stamina and ult, that'll be spicy. Damage per rocket has been reduced, oh my God, by a lot. Down 25% from 30 to 23. Minimum distance has been increased from 7 to 9. I am assuming it's referencing to like the casting distance, so you have to cast it even farther away from you than you could before. Not directly, like before you can do it directly on yourself, but now it's even farther from yourself. Cooldown increased by 10 seconds. Dash low increased from 25% to 35%. Spirit power scaling reduced from 0.35 to 0.25. Damn, they hate McGinnis ult. Wait. Okay. And then the tier 3 adds back the 0.1 that they took off here. So tier 3 gives it a damage boost, and then tier 3 damage per rocket reduced from plus 30 to plus 25. So more emphasis on scaling into tier 3 if you actually want McGinnis ult to do things, because it's a pretty big scaling boost. But yeah, other than that, McGinnis turret's getting a pretty big change, McGinnis ult getting more movement, and then McGinnis getting just straight up new model, new animations and stuff as well. All worth keeping in mind. And then a change towards spirit resist from base bullet resist as well for inherent stats. So Mirage, improved camera animations during the ability of Tornado, VO remastering pass, as well as new VO content. Animation for holding and throwing items has been added. Oh yeah, I guess Mirage, I wasn't even thinking about it. Mirage just doesn't even have any of those yet. So Mo and Krill. Oh my God, I have been, it's because I've been saying VO. It's not, I'm not stupid. It's because I keep saying VO, so my brain immediately went to it. Mo and Krill, Scorn heal reduced from 1.3 times to 1.2 times. Burrow tier 2 reduced from plus 100 damage to plus 80. Sandblast projectile no longer slides against geometry. Sandblast no longer deals damage. Oh, that's a bit of a change. That could make a pretty big difference in how you're playing as him. Combo bonus health on kill/assist reduced from plus 70 to plus 50. Mo mains are in shambles. I did not play enough Mo especially ult mode, because that's, you know, it's the most boring. No offense. It's like, it's just literally true. To be doing like very focused on this, where it's like, I need to ult all the people ever in the game and just get a big stacking thing and feel good about myself. Kind of like playing Pom Bebop does. Like, it's satisfying, right? So for all the people that love doing this, it is no longer quite as good. I am sorry. They got a VO remastering pass. See, they got VO up in here everywhere. How am I not going to say MO? Paradox VO remastering pass as well. Pocket gets more base bullet damage by a little bit. Affliction, no. No, end me, please. Oh my God, man. Affliction no longer removed by debuff remover, as this item no longer removes ultimate effects. Fuck me. Oh my God, you are not making Pocket ult better. You fuckers. Jesus Christ. This patch sucks ass. I don't care about the new items. I don't care that Deadlock's getting better, because Deadlock's not getting better, because Pocket just got even more cringe. Oh my God. Duration reduced on Pocket ult from 18 to 14 seconds. This is part of why I actually legitimately terrified. DPS increased from 10. Oh, what could it be? 12 to 30. They tripled Pocket ult DPS after they had already okay, hang on. Okay, there are bigger changes coming. That'll help make it less cringe. They're basically kind of reverting Pocket ult back to its old state to some degree, which still misery, right? Pain. Affliction tier 2 now increases duration by 4 seconds. Healing reduction on the tier 2 reduced from 50% to 40%. Affliction tier 3 no longer has % current HP damage, so that is nice, but it does also deal an extra 10 DPS from 10 to 20. So yeah, Pocket getting more tick focused yet again. The tick does last less at immediate base rank, but does so much more damage. There is no % current HP bonus. Yeah, from the tier 3. Yeah. And then tier 3 range increased a little bit to an extra meter. Oh boy. And then VO remastering pass as well as new VO content. 7, static charge can no longer be self-cast. That's an interesting change. So very much more forcing the potential debuff remover counter with static charge. That was one thing with 7, where if debuff remover is getting a problem, especially as you're getting deeper into the game, you could self-cast it. It'll get a big AoE on it, assuming it's leveled up. You get Mystic Reach on it, stun a bunch of people in an area. Now you have to put it on somebody. You have to allow that Dynamo 2 counter, the debuff remover counter, stuff like that. So that'll tweak the way 7 plays a little bit. Another VO remastering pass. Shiv Killing Blow reduced the threshold from 22% to 20%. The tier 2 has been reduced from an extra 6% to an extra 5%. And then another remastering pass. Sinclair Vexing Bolt redirect telegraph lines correctly on vertical geometry. Rabbit Hex fixed a bug where Henry and Savannah wouldn't play VO when turning enemies into rabbits. Henry and Savannah wouldn't play it. What is that, like a line that he says? Okay. Vindicta minor rework on animation set. Assassinate fixed it. Vindicta Assassinate zoom in sound triggering twice. Viscous gun improved firing effects. Fixed alt fire weapon thinking it could zoom. I don't remember having seen that. It would try if you held right click and jumped. Oh, okay. Fixed a bug where puddle punch would sometimes not deal damage when the target was very close to a wall. Glue ball cooldown increased from 95 to 105 seconds. Fixed it knocking back heroes with unstoppable state. Viper, Petrifying Bullet, debuff effect revisions to help identify targets better, adjusted the volume of direct hits and sound and explosion sounds. Warden remastering pass on the VO. Wraith gun fall off range reduced from 20 to 58 meters to 18 to 52 meters. Actually a pretty significant change there. Telekinesis revisions to debuff effect, another remastering pass for her, and another remastering pass for Yamato. We're getting towards the end here. Item sound and visuals. Arcane Surge, new sounds added. Boundless Spirit, new sounds added. Crippling Headshot, effects revision, blah, blah, blah. Basically just a bunch of new sounds to a bunch of different items. We don't really need to go over all these, to be honest. The hero changes, I think, absolutely worth going over for anything where it's going to be a little more significant. Yeah, this is all just like a bunch of audio stuff for different items. And of course, we'll check out the items in game, which is really the important thing, not the actual audio stuff. Bug fixes, blah, blah, blah. I think we're good. Ooh, I think we are good. What a patch, man. What a patch. So one thing the patch did not talk about in the notes, couple things that it didn't talk about in the notes. I mean, it did talk about the map changes, but those we will check out in game to get an actual look at, because I just skipped over them for the most part, other than talking about the base changes a little bit, because I want to look at those in game. Before we focus on those in game, let's check out the items in game and see what they are looking like. It is going to be a crazy difference. All right, so in game, we're going to start off with Abrams here. I do need to try and remember to look at some of the hero changes as well. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anybody that got relevant changes. Abrams got changed, McGinnis got changed. I think I'll go take a peek and see if anybody else did that I'm forgetting about as far as like animations and just general look are concerned. You know what, maybe let's go into, oh my God, I should have prepared you guys. Remember, there was new item art. That could have been underselling it, understating it. There is a crazy change to the shop. The game now looks a lot different when it comes to buying items. And I think it is safe. Most people will agree it looks a lot better. Oh my God, it looks so much better. So, yeah. Let me see, what build do I have pulled up on Abrams right now? Mast, Siphon, Abrams. Check that out, man. So your normal build, assuming you're going after a preset build, when you're not looking at the actual inventory, like individual setups, it's now going to look something like this overall. You're getting kind of a worn card style art with very unique icons that are actually properly made. I think a few, there's a chance like maybe duration is still a little bit placeholder because it's just so simple. But the vast majority of these are, you know, actually like complex, cool, unique art. And yeah, it is a crazy difference. So like, I am wondering if there's a few of these like healing right here in like extra regen where it's so much simpler. I'm wondering if it'll still get a little bit of stuff, or like close quarters, if they'll still end up looking a little more unique. These are also tier 1, so they might kind of keep them tamer. You can see it seems like they progressively get more and more wild as you're getting to tier 3 and tier 4. So yeah, this is what the item art looks like. Let's check out the actual items one by one. So tier 1 over here, this little section, I really like the way that this is set up, man. I think this feels so cool. It reminds me so much of like the Slay the Spire merchant shop, which is just such a cool vibe, I think. So let's check out item stats and what items exist. Close quarters, melee resist is now on it. Otherwise similar item to how it was before. Well, let's also maybe get a little bit of a feel. Okay, never mind. So we got to keep in mind the way that the ranks work. As far as the bonus scaling, where before this would have been 6%, is now going to be different. So I wonder if it'll tell me in game when I buy this now. Okay, this seems like it's effectively still 6% from buying a tier 1. Let's buy, let me not buy anything crazy so we're not getting spoilers. Let's buy Ricochet. Let's buy Crippling Headshot. Fuck, whatever. We'll look at it later. We'll look at it later because I don't want to get, don't read those. Don't read those yet. Because I didn't want to get like actual spoilers for what's ahead. But I am curious how weapons scale and stuff now, as far as the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3s are concerned. Since they had brought that up, it's like it's a new system, but they didn't exactly specify how it works entirely. They specified how it works, but not the actual numbers behind them. So extended mag, yeah, I think it was safe to bet is basic mag, renamed a little bit to make more sense. So plus 25% ammo, plus 6% weapon damage, a little more ammo focus, less of an damage increase. Headshot booster, plus 65 health, increase to the headshot bonus damage, no longer has any barrier on it. High velocity rounds, higher bullet velocity, extra fire rate, no weapon damage, no barrier. Monster rounds, pretty similar to before. Bonus damage to NPCs, bonus resist NPCs, little extra regen, no extra health. Rapid rounds, basically same as before, no sprint speed. And resto shot, a little bit extra weapon damage, but no barrier compared to before. So tier 1's largely staying the same for weapons. Let's go ahead and do just entire weapons and then go to greens and then go to purples is how we'll do this. Active reload, plus 20% max ammo, very similar effect to before as far as its passive. Backstabber, brand new item, our first brand new item, minus 50% footstep sound distance. What the fuck? Oh my God, they're already cooking. You can now be quieter traveling the map without actually sneaking around and crouching. That's pretty sick. Plus 75 bonus health, attacking enemies from behind with your weapon or melee opens a wound, dealing spirit damage over time and reducing their bullet resist. During this time, if you or any allies are near the target, okay, that is how they said it, or near the target, you'll see them through walls and be given bonus move speed. So it does 20 spirit damage per second for 5 seconds, minus 6% bullet resist, and then almost 2 extra meters a second move speed. So basically, doing this backstab effect is kind of leaving like a trail that you can follow, and then is also just generally doing bonus damage. So a backstab effect is pretty spicy, man. Is pretty spicy, and then you can kind of hunt them down afterwards. Fleetfoot has got some of the weirdest art up in here. I'm wondering if this will change at some point, because like, what the fuck is this? Plus 35% slide distance, that's a boost. Plus 125 health, which is also a boost. Again, removes the move speed penalty while shooting and gains even more move speed when activated. Does not have any changes to ammo. So generally Fleetfoot just kind of seems buffed, although it is also more expensive now. One thing worth noting, tier 1 is now 800 souls. Tier 2 is now 1600 souls. Tier 3 is 3200. Tier 4 is 6400. So a big thing to note is tier 1, tier 2 items are getting a pretty significant price increase. 300 souls extra for your tier 1, 350 souls extra for your tier 2. And for tier 3, tier 4, it really shouldn't matter as much, but of course those go up a little bit as well. And of course it's going to actually just straight up be times 2, times 2, times 2, going up from rank to rank. So intensifying has been moved down to tier 2. Plus 20% max ammo, increases weapon damage as you continuously fire your weapon to 40% max weapon damage over 3 seconds. Not gonna lie, this compared to current items seems a little dog shit. However, one thing you guys might have noticed so far, I haven't explicitly said it, but if you've been running the numbers, you will notice these items are doing way less damage base than they used to. High velocity lost a lot of damage. Headshot booster lost a little bit. Extended mag lost a decent bit. Close quarters, actually close quarters kind of are around the same, actually staying relatively close. Resto shot actually kept a little bit extra. So like generally speaking, a lot of weapon damage has been tacked on to tier 1s. Not only are those items more expensive to begin with now, but a lot of them are missing some of that damage they used to come with. So definitely seems like in general, items getting an overall nerf in terms of impact, focusing more on the specialization, customizability of builds with those items instead, which I think is a really cool change. Less stat stick focus, more playstyle focus towards items. So kinetic dash, plus 1 stamina, plus 12% stamina recovery. When you dash jump, you gain fire rate and bonus ammo until your next reload. It has been buffed as far as the dash jump effect, 30% fire rate, 8 ammo when performing that kinetic dash jump. So that is potentially pretty strong. Did they change the cooldown as well? It says it lasts up to 7 seconds. It doesn't say anything about the, you can't, hang on. hang on. Oh, no way I'm fucking it up on camera. No. It's seeming, hang on, a little fast stamina here. So with kinetic dash, you can now just keep this shit up. As long as you have the stamina to perform it, every time you perform a kinetic dash, you will get that fire rate. You will get only the limit of the ammo. You cannot infinitely stack the ammo, but you will get that 8 temporary ammo. So for example, if we're down at like 7, we get up to 15, we get up to 17, we get up to 17, and we're just keeping it there. So it's only giving us that plus 8 total and potentially refreshing up to it. But that's all. So back in, I guess we don't need to buy items here since we're in the little tester map here. Long range now provides just 1 sprint speed boost. That is a weird change to it. Also has some weird art. It is shooting the moon. It is shooting the moon in the eye. It deals additional weapon damage when beyond the minimum distance. Again, it's 15 meters like it used to be. 35% additional weapon damage. So again, big change to how much damage it does, where it is now not getting inherent weapon damage. It is very much focused on that passive effect and actually applying it successfully. Let's also try, if we just buy long range here, only 8% from buying this. This would have been 10% before, as far as just buying a tier 2 weapon. So that is a change as well. Melee charge, plus 50% heavy melee distance, plus 10% melee damage, plus 10% bullet resist. Your next heavy melee attack against enemy deals increased damage, plus 30% damage. So similar to before, no longer an ammo boost. Mystic shot, plus 7 spirit power, no weapon damage. Again, does the normal mystic shot thing. Opening rounds. Ooh, another new one. Plus 7 spirit power, your attacks have additional weapon damage against enemies above 50% health. So this is probably replacing Pristine, right? I don't see Pristine down in the tier 3s. So this is, similar to the Pristine emblem passive. 40% bonus weapon damage against enemies above 50% health is a big boost. Very upfront damage. This would be crazy on Vindicta as a tier 2 item. Slowing bullets, 7% fire rate. Your bullets build up a movement slow on enemies. They build it up. 30% conditional movement speed nerf to those enemies, minus 25% dash distance on them, 3.5 second debuff duration, and then the build up per shot is going to vary by character. But I think it's a safe bet that it's going to stack similar to toxic bullets. So shoot, shoot. Now they're slowed. Probably better to test this on an actual moving enemy, huh? So if we're far away, it's going to stack a little slower. And then now we can see that they're slowed a little bit. Seeming pretty minor, man. Here, let me let this wear off. It seems pretty minor. Oh, no, okay, okay. No, it's about what it was before, but you'd have to build it up more. It's not like one little shot will just do it on its own. So that's slowing bullets. Boop. What else we got? What else we got? Spirit Shredder bullets, obviously a rename of Soul Shredder bullets. Your bullets apply, this has no inherent stat value, by the way. Your bullets apply a debuff that reduces the spirit resist of the target and grants you and your allies spirit lifesteal against them. Oh, so this is just your entire team gets this benefit now. It now has nerfed effects, but it applies for everybody. Minus 7% spirit resist on the enemy, plus 8% spirit lifesteal to people hitting that enemy for 8 seconds. So that's potentially big as more of a support style item now, which is interesting. Split shot, another new one. Make your weapon fire multi-shot. Hitting more than one hero per attack will grant a stacking weapon damage bonus. Targets can only be hit once per multi-shot. Let's see, I can't exactly read the 4 weapon multi-shot. I can't exactly picture what it's saying there. Weapon damage per stack plus 10%. Buff duration 4.5 seconds, 6 max stacks. Let's try this bad boy out. So again, fires multi-shot, hitting more than one hero per attack will grant a stacking weapon damage bonus. Normal shots. So, hang on. Because the effects are a little weird here. Yeah, Abrams probably a bad example for this. Let's switch off Abrams for a sec. Let's go... Yeah, new McGinnis art is in. McGinnis probably a bad example for it, though. Let's go Haze. And let's buy a split shot. Normal Haze shots. Yeah, that's a better example for it. So it's kind of hard when you have a shotgun and you start shotgunning. Kind of hard to tell the shotgunning that's going on. How long does this last? 4.5 seconds, so not super long. Yeah, basically very much shotgun focused. And so let's move again back to Abrams, I think. And let's buy the item. If we're just shotgunning this man in his face. Okay, gun's being a little bit weird at this range. Here we go. Here, let's do chest so it's a little more reliable. Since we're getting slightly derpy headshots. Yeah, like 36 a shot. Unless it's proccing different, it's seeming about the same, right? It went off, right? Yeah, I'm not really seeing the difference in bonus damage, the weapon damage per stack. Oh, more than, oh, right, my bad. It's been a while since I've done this. Boop. There we go. That should make more sense. There we go. Now we can see crazy buff. We were getting from like 35 damage to like 50 something damage. And then of course you're just hitting a bigger area in general, right? So that's where split shot is really coming into play. And then again, if we buy this on somebody like Haze, one of the normal gun characters, let's do like Geist since we already kind of looked at Haze. Where's Geist at? Somebody that's more like slower single target bullets. Good luck. Check that out, man. Geist, but everything is Geist 3. is kind of the vibe I get with that. That's crazy. All right, let's go look at McGinnis a little bit. You know what? Let me go back. I'll do it later in the video because I feel like I should probably try and mark it in the video when we go to McGinnis so people don't miss out on it. We'll go back to Abrams. That was a little sneak peek. Swift Striker, about the same as before. 20% fire rate, a little bit of sprint speed. Doesn't have the ammo anymore. It doesn't have the debuff anymore. Titanic Mag is now a tier 2. Upgrades from Extended Mag. Let me peek back through these. Did anything else upgrade so far? This upgrades 2, upgrades 2, upgrades 2. Okay, none of these upgraded so far. Oh wait, no, except for Swift Striker, which makes sense. It now upgrades from Rapid Rounds. So Titanic Mag, no surprise, upgrades from Extended Mag, which was Basic Mag, but it's a tier 2, and it does provide pretty similar effects to what it used to. 90% max ammo in a tier 2 item is a crazy new option. And then 15% bonus weapon damage as well. Seeming pretty good. Seeming pretty solid, man. Weakening Headshot, another new item. No surprise, goes into Crippling Headshot. 50 bonus health. Upon landing a headshot, reduce target bullet resist by minus 12% for 10 seconds. We got a science. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. I wanted to see if it just like infinitely stacked. It does not seem to infinitely stack, but it still seems potentially pretty good. Minus 12% bullet resist should not be slept on. That's very strong. It has a 3-second cooldown, by the way. Let me do one more confirmation with Geist because she'll be a better tester for it. We shoot the head. We shoot it again. We shoot it again. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure. So yeah, basically just kind of like bullet resist shredder, but proccing on headshots. Back to Abrams we go. There's going to be a lot of items to go over. I think it's absolutely worth looking at all of these for a video. If you guys don't want to watch this, of course, like, you know, don't watch me go over every single item, but like this is crazy. So, so I'm going to, but I'm not making you watch it. Alk Fire, plus 8 spirit power. Throw a flask that explodes on contact, blah, blah, blah. Basically does Alk Fire things. Reduces enemy bullet resist. Otherwise seems similar to before. I don't think it reduces bullet resist before, as far as I can remember at least. Again, 50% less effective versus non-heroes. So yeah, Alk Fire kind of generally doing its same thing. No longer comes with barrier or anything like that. Berserker now at tier 3, 18% bullet resist inherently. Your weapon damage increases as you take sustained damage, 7% per stack with the old, oh wait, Berserker was a tier 2. I was thinking of Frenzy. But again, changed from tier 2 to tier 3. So up to 70% bonus weapon damage with the similar stacks as before with Berserker. So 120 damage per stack, 10 stacks, 10-second duration. Potentially pretty strong. 18% bullet resist is also quite a bit, but it is a tier 3. Blood Tribute, another new item. 125 bonus health. Oh my god, it's crazy how much these are now focused on their like passives and actives. It's actually wild how much of a change it is to the base stats. Like stat sticks are like almost not a thing. Like you specifically have a few stat stick options like Swift Striker here, and that's what like everything else is just fucking spice, which I love, which I think is really cool. So Blood Tribute, 125 bonus health, toggle, continually sacrifice health to improve fire rate, debuff resistance, and move speed. Healing received is reduced during the sacrifice. So you lose 50 health a second, which seems like quite a bit, 35% fire rate, 50% debuff resist, 1.75 per second move speed, minus 50% healing reduction. Okay. And in case anybody's getting mixed up on that, it's minus 50% to the healing you receive, not to like healing debuffs applied to you. Like you just inherently heal a lot less. So we pop this bad boy. I'm low level right now because I'm basically level 1 Abrams. This is going to go really fast. I shoot very fast. I am fairly speedy boy. I have debuff resistance. I take a decent amount of damage. Honestly, in practice, it's not seeming all that crazy right now, considering that we're like effectively, you know, like level 1-ish. I don't know if I've somehow gained levels while being in here, but should be like level 1-ish. Burst Fire. This is some bizarre new art for it. Still has its 50% slide distance. Does not come with inherent fire rate. Now gets a lot more fire rate when you proc it. So briefly gain fire rate and move speed when one of your bullets hits an enemy hero. For 4 seconds, 45% fire rate, 1.5 meter second move speed. So a little bit less move speed, more fire rate, and then an 8-second passive overall. Or 8-second passive cooldown, so it's not going to be like constantly up. It's going to have about half downtime if you're consistently proccing it. Another new item, Cultist Sacrifice. Let me see. Okay, so Burst Fire also does upgrade from Rapid Rounds. It doesn't upgrade from Swift Striker, which is interesting. Hang on.
Hope you win whatever fight you're about to start.
Hang on. Okay, so Rapid Rounds goes into both. Is kind of weird. So we can buy Rapid Rounds. We can upgrade into Swift Striker. We can just straight up buy Burst Fire. Or we can go Rapid Rounds into Burst Fire. We can just straight up buy Swift Striker. But Rapid Rounds is getting used. We can't buy Rapid Rounds again. It's an interesting way for this, like an item, a tier 1 item could upgrade into multiple items, but you can still get both those items is cool. So anyways, Cultist Sacrifice plus 4 out of combat regen, plus 35, so this comes from monster rounds. No big surprise when we look at the stats. 35% weapon damage versus NPCs, 35% bullet resist versus NPCs. Target an enemy NPC and consume it for 150% bonus. Oh, we got to check this out. For 150% bonus souls and grants a powerful, long-lasting buff. This is a 4.5 minute cooldown, or almost 4.5 minutes. 25% bonus fire rate, 350 bonus health, and plus 15% ability range for 3 minutes. Holy shit. This is crazy. So it's almost like Geist ulting somebody, but like a minion. Here's the minion through wall effects. Yoink, Giga Farm, I'm a unit. Is how this item works. And then, you know, aside from no cooldown here, let me do it again on something so that it looks a little more impactful as far as the cooldown's concerned, because it's crazy. All right, I can't do this shit for 4.5 minutes. but I do get the big boon. I do get the big boost. 350 health, 25% fire rate. Wow. Again, it is a tier 3, but very good at fighting versus monsters, farming in general, and you get a pretty big variety stat range here where you're tankier, you shoot faster, you have longer abilities, slash wider abilities, just ability range. So interesting item. As far as farm is concerned, target an NPC and consume it for 150% bonus souls. Can you do this versus like, hang on. I don't know why you couldn't. I think the tech here should absolutely be, oh wait, that's the wrong one. Cult of Sacrifice, head down here very conveniently. Yoink! Like we got 600 souls, but this is a long ass cooldown. It's not that crazy. God, I might have to kill that so I can do it. Hang on, we're gonna kill it. Get you out of here. Get you out of here. There we go. Again, 4.5. I have the no cooldown on. It's a 4.5 minute cooldown. So mostly going to be like a big buff. I think as far as farm concerned, it's not going to be wild. I was wondering if you can get crazy bonus farm from consuming like a straight up walker or something, but I feel like there's actually no way that's possible because the whole thing is it consumes something and there's no way you can just like kill a tower, right? I think it's a very obvious thing. The only reason I'm going is to make sure it's not bugged. Okay, we cannot consume the tower. Like very obviously they would not let you one-shot tower with a tier 3 item, but like, that's why we went over, just in case it like something wild was going on, just in case they fucked it up. So moving on, escalating resilience, plus 30% max ammo, plus 100 bonus health, plus 15% weapon damage. This is actually kind of a stat stick. Grant bullet resist when your bullets hit an enemy. Now 30% bullet resist at max stacks compared to before. Otherwise the same item. Seems pretty strong overall. Pretty solid. Express shot, another new item, plus 35% bullet velocity, upgrades from high velocity rounds, plus 5% fire rate. After not attacking for 4 seconds, your next attack will fire twice in quick succession with increased damage and velocity. This attack consumes extra ammo. 100% bonus velocity. Why is it, I don't know what the 0 to 35% on the side of it is. I guess just from the item itself. Yeah, that's what it is. 30% extra ammo consumed plus 150% additional weapon damage. So hang on. Not only are we going to test that, we're going to also Mystic Shot. And then surprise, motherfucker. Okay. We don't get double Mystic Shot just in case. I had to do a little exam right there. Just in case it got wild. But we slide on in there. Boom. And then, realistically, you're potentially doing this as like more of a farther away, like Geist Shot or something like that. I think it is safe to bet that you don't want to be using this on very high fire rate characters like Haze. Believe it or not, I think the double shot might not be very good on somebody that shoots incredibly fast to begin with. But on somebody like Abrams, Geist, those characters that have more limited ammo, but still potentially want to do weapon damage, this could be a very strong option. So, Headhunter, 8% weapon damage, 75% health. Very similar to before. You get move speed, you get headshot bonus damage, you get a heal per headshot. Very similar to before. Heroic Aura, sprint speed, just in general, you just get 2 meters a second sprint speed. Provides bullet resist to nearby friendly units, 15%, just passively. And then the active is similar to before, where you provide move speed and fire rate to yourself and nearby allies. Minions get double value, 30% fire rate, 2.5 meters a second move speed. Yeah, overall kind of a similar item before. Again, like big stat stick changes to everything. Hollow Point Ward. It's just called Hollow Point now. It's all the way down here in the tier 3s. Plus 4.5 out of combat regen, plus 150 health. When you're above 65% health, deal additional weapon damage and your bullets reduce enemy bullet resist. Plus 35% weapon damage, minus 10% bullet resist. Debuff duration, 8 seconds. Again, we got to try it out. Uh-oh. I have bugged something here. Hopefully the game will survive. This does not stack. I had to test. I had to make sure it's not stacking. Feel like it's always important in case something's crazy. Hunter's Aura, a lot of bullet resist in here, a lot of bullet shred getting added in. I wonder if Spirit has the same thing. Hunter's Aura, very similar to before. Almost the same as before. Up to minus 21% bullet resist, up to minus 36% fire rate. If you're having more enemies nearby, then it's just doing the softer version of it. Basically the same item as it used to be. Point blank, plus 100 bonus health, plus 25% melee resist. When in close range to your target, gain a weapon damage and your bullets apply a movement slow. Again, similar to what it used to be. Sharpshooter. Plus 18% weapon fall off range, able to do more damage from farther away, plus 25% weapon zoom, plus 1 meter a second sprint speed, minus 1 meter a second move speed, deal up to 70% bonus weapon damage when beyond that 15 meter radius, largely similar to how it used to be. And now we've got Spirit Rend, which I think is just Spellslinger Headshots renamed. Plus 100 bonus health, your bullets apply a debuff, again, similar to Spirit Shredder bullets before, but now you get the bonus of landing headshots against the target reduces their spirit resist further, stacking up to 4 times, and reducing spirit resist by 7% per stack, and those last 8 seconds, and it's got a 2-second cooldown. So basically, Spellslinger Headshots is now Spirit Rend, and in tune with the Spirit Shredder bullet change that they received, it's got a similar change to match. Tesla Bullets no longer has any base stats. It does its Tesla Bullets thing. As far as I can tell, I think, oh, wait a minute. Is this more of a jump? Did it have 4 max jumps? That seems like a lot. Can I tell? Let's haze. Oop. Hey, another game update's available. Yeah, I'm not deathy. I don't have crazy stuff that I reveal when I go to that screen. Oh my god, I revealed so many new heroes. No. In case anybody's like, oh, he fucked up. I don't know. It seems like Tesla Bullets. Yeah, I just can't remember off the top of my head. It sounded similar, but I think it's basically Tesla Bullets as it was before. So Toxic Bullets seems to be about the same. It's got less of a healing reduction that it applies now. It has no base stats. Seems to be about the same item. Weighted Shots, another new one. Weapon damage goes up 30%. Bullet velocity goes down 25%. Spirit resist plus 16%. Debuff resist plus 16%. And minus 10% stamina recovery. So this is like making you more of a tank as far as your gun is concerned. You don't get stamina back quite as fast. You don't shoot quite as fast as far as the actual speed of your bullets. It'll take longer to get places by a pretty decent chunk, but you do more damage and you get a bit tankier in the process. So very stat stick focused item there. And now on to the tier 4s, the experts only. It's got its own cool section, as if I didn't already want to buy tier 4s more than I realistically should. Armor piercing rounds, obviously new item, 30% bonus bullet velocity. Your bullets have a chance to become unavoidable, piercing through enemies and ignoring their bullet resistance entirely. 65% proc chance, no cooldown. They just do that. So, generally speaking, this item is crazy. This item is fucking crazy. Now, it is very much a tank shredder only. It is absolute ass against anybody that is low resistance. It does so little for such a big price point. Very cool concept for an item. However, if you are a tank and you have at least 50% bullet resist, this will devastate you. This is disgusting. And we'll have to see what they did to Metal Skin as well and see if this basically punches through Metal Skin, assuming it's still in the game. So that already, crazy item. Capacitor, another new one. It's got some weird art. This might get changed. An upgrade from Tesla Bullets. So it still keeps its Tesla Bullets proc, slightly buffs it. So it gets 2 more jumps and a slightly higher proc chance. But then also it has an active effect. So it launches a projectile that deals spirit damage, removes all their non-ultimate buffs, and applies a strong slow that recovers over time. 30-second cooldown, applies 200 spirit damage, removes any buffs that you don't get from your ult as the enemy, and then a 100% move speed slow that deteriorates down to your normal speed after 5 seconds or over 5 seconds. Obviously, we gotta try that out. Let's see, first of all, how fast does it shoot? Pretty fast. Pretty fast. Boop. So that's what the slow looks like. You can see it deteriorating and then speeding up, and now it's finally gone. So, like, immediately it would feel like a root. You are very, very slow to start. Big chunk of damage. Let's also, I kind of don't want to peek at the spirit. Does it go up in damage? Like, we could just buy a little bit of stuff. We could buy like this. It does not seem to go up in damage. It doesn't seem to scale at all. Worth noting. So, yeah, that's something. That's an item right there. Crippling Headshot. 150 bonus health. Minus 18% resist on headshot, minus 30% healing reduction on headshot. Otherwise seems to be similar to before. It does have a 3-second passive cooldown, so it will not, let's see if I can real quickly. I probably shouldn't be Abrams for this, but maybe. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be Abrams for this. Well, we got one. I guess I can't really tell from the proc either, huh? Yeah, whatever. I'm assuming, actually, wait, no, maybe I can, maybe I can. Can I tell? I probably can't tell. It's probably gonna be hard to tell in here. Spawn a bot. I'm trying to figure out how I can effectively test this because I want to see if we can proc it between enemies. Boom, 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 boom. I feel like, wait, we don't have the, I'm dumb.
I don't suppose you're looking.
Boom, 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 boom. I know I sound dumb as fuck saying this. What is up? Oh, that lasts so long. Okay, right. 10-second debuff duration. So the big test here. Oh, okay. So this 3-second cooldown does apply between heroes, is what I wanted to test to begin with. And it's actually pretty easy to tell if they have it based on the icon. So yeah, if you shoot somebody with this, the 3-second cooldown does apply to anybody else you might shoot with it as well. You cannot just like immediately beam down the entire team with crippling headshot. Worth noting. And I guess we don't have to hop out of here, huh? Crushing Fists, new item upgrades from melee charge. 75% heavy melee distance, oh boy. 25% melee damage, 20% bullet resist, same passive as melee charge. But then also, it comes with a bonus passive. Your melee damage will restore ammo and apply a stacking bullet resist debuff on enemies. Heavy melee applies 2 stacks. If the target reaches max stacks, they will be stunned. So, plus 15% ammo, minus 4% bullet resist, 6 stacks max. Again, heavy melee is 2, so it'd be 30% ammo, 8% bullet resist, stacking up to, 3 heavy melees. And then it's a 0.5 second stun if you get max stacks. So, if we buy this, hello? Big punch! Look at that distance we got, baby. Boom! Now you're gonna die. Hang on. Boom! Boom! And boom! Yeah, we get a little stun right there. So that's spicy for the melee builds. Frenzy. 1 meter a second move speed, 10% bullet resist, 10% fire rate. When below 50% health, you gain stat bonuses. 3 meter a second move speed, 30% fire rate, 40% bullet resist. It does not come from Berserker. You can buy these items independently. So that'll be interesting. It is just its own standalone tier 4. Glass Cannon. 80% weapon damage, that is a stat stick, holy, oh my, this item could be crazy. 80% weapon damage minus 10% max health, so less punishing on the health. 80% weapon damage I feel like will stand out more as well, especially as far as stat sticks are concerned with all the changes so far that we've seen. But then 7% fire rate per kill, up to 8 stacks. You can get up to 50% or 56% fire rate from your stacks of Glass Cannon. Every hero kill is a stack of fire rate. Every death results in the loss of a stack. So of course it's if you're fed, as it was before with Glass Cannon. It is going to stand out so much more though, that getting those stacks. That is crazy. 56% fire rate, 80% weapon damage. It could be terrifying. Lucky Shot, 40% max ammo. Okay, it's basically what it was before. Plus 125% bonus weapon damage when it procs. 20% proc chance, so lower proc chance by quite a bit. Yeah, your bullets have a chance to be empowered, causing them to deal bonus weapon damage. The bonus damage cannot crit, and it does not slow anymore. Ricochet, 25% fire rate. Your bullets will ricochet on enemies near your target, applying any bullet procs and dealing a percentage of the original damage. 65% to ricochet targets. Seems similar to what it was before. Shadow Weave, oh my god, I love the art, man. By the way, cat spoilers. Cat spoilers. It looks like my cat if my cat was some demented psycho magical creature and had purple eyes. I have a black cat. People keep asking about the cat. Maybe I'll actually spoil you with a picture, but I probably won't because it's a little bit funny to keep having people beg for it. 10 out of combat regen, 2 meter a second sprint speed, becomes stealth when popped. Whenever you take damage while stealth, you get briefly revealed. Stealth duration 25 seconds, spot radius 26. Seems similar to what it was before. Little bit less fire rate, I want to say, and then decent amount less spirit power when you ambush out of stealth. So generally similar item to what it used to be. Silencer. Your bullets reduce the target's outgoing spirit damage by 25%. You get 14% spirit resist just from buying it. Your bullets build up to a silence. Victims are immune to the buildup for 10 seconds after silence expires. So it's fairly similar to what it is right now, but it also generally just nerfs their outgoing spirit damage. And that does not have the cooldown that the silence buildup has. So that'll be something to consider when you're running into it. Spirit damage can get pretty decently nerfed by Silencer. Definitely more of a support-focused item even than it was before. Spell Slinger, 12% cooldown reduction. Whenever you cast an ability or item, gain a stacking buff that improves fire rate and reload speed. 10% fire rate, minus 10% reload time, 6 max stacks, 10-second buff duration. Oh my god. Hang on. Geist's gonna be coming, man. Geist's gonna be coming. Boop. And boop. And one of these.
comes for you.
Maybe another one?
Your death is inevitable.
How about one more?
Your time runs short.
Oh, let's top you off right there. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my God, man. So again, that is 60% fire rate we can get up to. And I felt like Geist naturally the perfect example for it. And we also get a super fast reload after. That can get pretty crazy on somebody that can proc it well enough. So again, casting an ability or an item. There are not too many people that are casting abilities super frequently. Geist is like the one that is going to do that the most. So that is pretty crazy right there for someone that can use it. And our final tier 4 weapon item, my favorite, my baby, Spiritual Overflow. Plus 15% spirit lifesteal. Passive, gain bonus fire rate and spirit power by charging up when shooting enemy heroes. 40% fire rate, which is more than it used to be. 30 spirit power, which is less than it used to be. Also worth keeping in mind, in general with spirit power tweaks, some people might be wondering why we're getting less spirit power on some of these items. And that is probably going to be a consistent thing throughout the game. Because again, you get spirit power now from just simply leveling. So it would make sense if they made, generally speaking, abilities scale about the same as they used to for most characters. But for items to come with less spirit power so that you're now getting that, like you're including that spirit power they gain just from leveling into the kind of overall equation. So I think that's why spirit power is tending to go down on stuff like Overflow, Shadow Weave, and I'm sure in the actual purple spirit tree, we'll see even more of that. So that does it for the weapons. On to the greens. Extra health, 175 bonus health. Boom. It's just that simple. Upgrades into 2 things. We'll look at those later. Extra regen, 3.5 health regen. Upgrades into healing booster now, which makes sense. Extra stamina, 1 stamina, 12% stamina recovery. Goes into a ton of stuff. Healing right. Nerf to healing right, by the way. 300 health regen. I want to say it was still like 370 last patch. So pretty big hit to the amount that you can heal from it. Grants regen and sprint speed. Active 70-second cooldowns. The cooldown went up unless I'm tripping as well. I think the cooldown was 60 seconds. Yeah, generally just seems like it's healing right, but it's nerfed. And again, items are more expensive as well to start compared to what they used to be. You start with a little bit of bonus souls. You start with a little bit of souls, but not anything you can immediately spend. Not enough to buy an item. But generally speaking, tier 1s, tier 2s will take longer to get online than they used to. Melee lifesteal plus 12% melee damage. So still doing that, still making melees a lot stronger. Oh my God. Your next melee attack heals you for 100 flat. Your heal will be 30% against the value of non-heroes, or 30% of the value against non-heroes. So pretty similar, but not scaling based on damage to simple 100 flat compared to what it used to be. Rebuttal is actually, oh my God, Rebuttal is actually a new one. Holy shit, it's spicy for a tier 1. Minus 2-second parry cooldown. Yeah, so parry cooldown, I want to say around 4 seconds. Oh wait, I guess that applies. Oh, is it more? Wait, hang on. Let's actually sync it up. Here, I'm going to go at 12:10. We're going to parry. Boom. When's it come back? When's it come back? When's it come back? Okay, seems like it's 4.5 seconds maybe. Something like that. 4.5. So if we go rebuttal now, and we proc this right at 12:25, boom. It's already back up, baby. It's just that fast. So rebuttal crazy for parrying. You also get 50 bonus health, and then on a successful parry against an enemy hero, heal yourself for the damage parried and return that damage to the target and gain increased melee damage. Rebuttal is the fucking kill switch, man. You gain 50% bonus melee damage for 6 seconds. This is actually, I can say get parried bozo and mean it so much more than I used to. Holy, rebuttal is crazy, man. That's wild. Oh my God, I just got so spoiled that this builds into a new item called Trophy Collector. I don't even know what it does. It's just such a cool name. Sprint boots, 2 meter a second move speed or sprint speed, 2 HP out of combat regen. That does it for the health tier 1s. Battle vest. And by the way, check out the, we can see the art difference. Fairfax Artillery bought and sold. MPS voted #1 pharmacy for families and beasts for like the different kind of background art for the shops now, which is pretty cool. Battle vest replacing bullet armor. Ooh, and I think kind of replacing combat barrier too, a little bit. It's like an in-between. So 18% bullet resist, plus 3 out of combat regen. While you're above 65% health, gain weapon damage and bonus fire rate, 15% weapon damage, 8% fire rate. So really like a merge of combat barrier passive with I was gonna say battle armor with bullet armor. Bullet life steal, only 16% bullet life steal and 70 bonus health, builds into a bunch of stuff. Debuff reducer, similar to before, only 20% debuff resist now, no longer has any weapon damage on it. See, right? Yeah. Enchanter's Emblem. So this is the spirit equivalent to Battle Vest, 18% spirit resist, 3 out of combat regen, 15 spirit power, 7% cooldown reduction. While you're above 65% health, gain bonus spirit and cooldown reduction. I'm hoping, did I say that part before for the vest? That's important. So while you have like 2/3 of your health bar or more, that's when you're getting these procs here. While you're generally healthy, kind of like Hollow Point. So enduring speed, ooh, gets a buff. We are so back, baby. We are so back. Boots don't suck ass anymore. 1.75 meter a second move speed, full on move speed, little bit of bonus health, 75, 50% slow resist. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be schmoovin'. Guardian Ward, I think, is basically Divine Barrier. 8% ability range, provides the target with a barrier and temporary move speed, can be self-cast. 200 barrier. Again, barriers got changed. They are now just general barriers. It does not matter for damage type. So if you're doing spirit damage, if you're doing bullet damage, the barrier will protect the person that you're targeting. But then also, either of those types of damage will do damage to the barrier. So it goes both ways. And then 3 meter a second move speed buff as well for 5 seconds. 45-second cooldown. Healbane, 7 spirit power. Make it a little more offensively oriented. 35% healing reduction, 275 heal on a hero kill. Again, otherwise works like it used to. Healing booster, 3.5 health regen. Increase the effectiveness of your healing by 25%. Does not decrease the effectiveness of healing reduction like it used to. So this simply makes you heal more. And I think it's safe to assume that applies to like health regen and this new out of combat health regen that they keep referencing and keep having items with. But does not make like Healbane toxic bullets less effective. Although generally so far those have also been nerfed, which I think is probably kind of to compensate a bit. So Healing Nova, heal yourself and nearby allies, 300 total HP regen over 2 seconds, 70-second cooldown, similar to what it would have been before. Reactive Barrier, automatically restore 1 stamina and gain a barrier when you're movement locked, stunned, chained, immobilized, or slept. 325 barrier for 12 seconds and a 22-second cooldown. Restorative Locket, 6% spirit resist. When an enemy uses an ability within 35 meters range of you, store 1 restoration stack. Consume all stacks to heal target ally and replenish 2 stamina points. Can be self-cast, up to 400 heal from 20 heal per stack and 20 max stacks with a 30-second cooldown. So fairly similar to before, but with like that stamina focus will be interesting. Return fire, plus 10% bullet resist. Automatically fire a bullet towards any attacker who damages you with their abilities or their weapons. 60% bullet damage returned, 30% spirit damage returned. Again, fairly similar to what it was before. Does not any longer come from extra regen because that made no sense. Spirit lifesteal, 16% spirit lifesteal, 70 bonus health. Just simple flat stats. Spirit shielding, plus 2.5 out of combat regen. Gain a barrier whenever you take significant spirit damage from enemy heroes in a small time frame. 400 barrier with a 150 damage threshold, a 3.5 second time frame, and an 8-second barrier duration, and a 40-second cooldown. So the way that's going to work is whenever you are taking 150 spirit damage over 3.5 seconds, assuming this cooldown is up, then you will get a 400 barrier for 8 seconds. And again, barriers go both ways, so that barrier will be effective versus bullet and spirit damage, and it stacks with your spirit power 1.2 times. So potentially if you're getting like 100 spirit power or something, that can go up to like 520 for the barrier, which is interesting. I wonder if there's other scalings that I've missed so far. Oh shit, I have been missing. Hang on, has it really been relevant for weapons? It probably hasn't been very relevant. Yeah, we get to see the scaling on like capacitor for Tesla bullets. I'm assuming Tesla bullets itself. Yep, we get to see some spirit scaling there, 0.15 per bounce. Toxic bullets doesn't have any. Yeah, so this is new. Some things already had this, and some of these might have just been hidden before, where like they didn't really stand out, but they like technically existed. But yeah, like some things did already scale with spirit, like Alkfire did a little bit, Tesla bullets did a little bit, if I remember right. But this is definitely new, getting like for one thing, just a new item. This is fairly different from what Enchanter's Barrier was. This is a little bit more like Reactive Barrier. and that it does scale with your spirit power. Then we have weapon shielding as well. So gain a barrier whenever you take significant weapon damage. Basically the exact same thing, but for taking weapon damage instead. It has a 200 damage threshold, so a little bit higher. Otherwise, it's the same 400 barrier. And again, it scales with your spirit. So if we buy both of these, and hypothetically, we're just getting a little bit damage dumped, somebody's going on me, and they both pop, then all of a sudden we have an 800 barrier and it's like, get fucked, bozo. It is now my time to turn, right? You are not killing me, nice try. And again, keep in mind, barriers stack with resistance now as well, so that's important to remember for late game. Yeah, these seem potentially very strong, but it's also absolutely worth keeping in mind that they are something where now as an enemy, you are no longer poking that upfront barrier that you start with, you are baiting out the barrier and then probably disengaging, which potentially will be very annoying, but also will be a kind of new mechanic to play around as far as items are concerned, that these are much more of a reactive barrier style where they pop on their own, and they don't just inherently make you tankier to start and give you big boosts to start. So that does it for the tier 2s. Onto the tier 3s. Bullet resilience, plus 30% bullet resist. When below 30% health, gain additional bullet resist. Another 30%. This seems pretty strong. This seems pretty solid. Although, I don't know. Below 30% is pretty low. So pretty simple stat stick. By the way, this does not come from Battle Vest. We can have both of these. Worth keeping in mind. Of course, you get diminishing returns, but like worth keeping in mind. Counter spell. We're getting D&D with this. Your next parry protects you from the damage and effect of enemy abilities and items. On a successful spell parry, gain, oh my god, on a successful spell parry, gain move speed and spirit power. Plus 20 spirit power, plus 2 meters a second move speed. Holy shit. What is a good way to test this, man? What is a good way to test this? Let's change our hero. I guess our hero doesn't really matter too much, but let's say like Geist. And then who has a good like 3 to parry? I think not that many heroes, and that was probably a bad. Let's do the 1. And let's get Infernus to Mimic. This might be hard to do because I have to cast. I want to test this on a bot. I don't want to like pull somebody in so I can test this.
If you need more protection, you know where to
Here, let's actually get let's see if we can do this. Clear follow. Spawn a Geist as an enemy. Make her follow. I think I fucked up the timing there. That went so much faster than I thought it would. Okay. So when this pops, it protects us from the damage and the effects. On a successful spell parry, gain move speed and spirit power. 25-second cooldown. And then, of course, we can get rebuttal in here and lower... so if we're failing parries, because, of course, landing a parry still resets your cooldown entirely. Although it doesn't reset the cooldown of this. Okay. It doesn't reset the cooldown of this. Spell parry duration is 0.8 seconds. Yeah. Damn. All right, so let's not do no cooldown. That just straight up blocks. Wait, hang on. Actually, let me do no cooldown. A 28 health. Yeah, okay. We're losing health because I'm casting the 1. I wanted to make sure I wasn't taking damage from that. So, yeah, just block like, I don't know, Vindicta ult or something like that. That is crazy, man. That is crazy. So, clear that. Back to Abrams we go. Wow. What else we got up in here? Debuff remover, plus 30% debuff resist, of course, comes from debuff reducer, 125 health, purge all non-ultimate negative effects. This will not work against stuff like Holiday ult, who are good examples here. This will not work versus Holiday ult. It will not work versus... Are that many ults where it's relevant? Because you can't use it while you're stunned. Like Ivy ult. Pocket ult. I mean, Pocket ult's a big one, but we saw that earlier. Yeah, I guess that's really like most of the stuff. Wraith ult. Actually, that's going to be pain. Not working versus Wraith ult's going to be a pretty tricky one. So that's actually somewhat niche that it's going to matter. If any effects were removed, heal yourself and gain a... Oh, you cannot just inherently use this for the stat boost anymore either. So you need to remove the effects in order to get the heal and the move speed. So decent amount of changes there to debuff remover. Fortitude, 375 bonus health. After not taking damage for 12 seconds, gain 3% max health regen. Very much old Fortitude. Fury Trance, plus 22% bullet lifesteal, 50 bonus health. Active, grant fire rate and bullet resist, but silences you. Oh my, that's so cool. And disables stamina usage and regeneration. Okay, couple of things to note here. So this very much feels like overall quite a bit of a weapon item, right? But it's a green. One thing I know in advance from the spoilers that were leaked, and we can see it down here, Warpstone is now a green. So I feel like we're getting a variety of items that are now a little more offensively oriented over here. Fury Trance, very much kind of a berserker type of item, right? But it's over here in the greens. And one thing that we haven't really done yet, but we can showcase, you know, we talked about it in the patch notes. Let's say I just want to, let's get some power spikes going, man. Let's just get some stuff. We can just buy, again, all these items are effectively, you can build any item type in any slot now. We do still have our 4 flex slots eventually. We have 8 slots to start. So we have that item flexibility. As a character, we can now go very heavily into like orange plus weapon. Okay, for one thing, I literally just said that wrong compared to what I meant. Orange plus green, or weapon plus vitality, whichever way you want to put it. Or vitality plus spirit, or just pure weapon, or just pure spirit. You can very much customize the builds, tailor them more to what you're looking for now. And so it's interesting that not only are we getting that, but we're also getting kind of a change to, I feel like, the style of the green tree in general, where it's getting a little bit more aggressive with some of these options. Like, this does not feel like it would have been a green before, right? And that it would have been, if anything, an orange. So that's spicy, man. 6-second duration, 16-second cooldown on that. So again, if we pop this, we are silenced and we cannot use stamina, and we don't get stamina regen either. But we get bullet lifesteal from it existing, and we get a big boost to fire rate and bullet resist. So we're just kind of doing this. We're just popping them. We're just popping, maybe get some punches in there. And like, that's it. We can't cast our abilities or anything. And then also, let's peek ahead to Warpstone. If we pop this, okay, we can still use items. So Warpstone's still usable during that. So Life Strike, 16% melee damage, 125 bonus health. Your melee attack applies movement slow, and it heals you for 60% of the melee damage dealt plus 160. This heal is 40% effective versus non-heroes. 4-second cooldown, very short cooldown. 60% move speed flow for 2.5 seconds. Yeah, seeming like it can do quite a bit. Seeming like you can get some pretty juicy heals, but generally feeling pretty similar to old Life Strike. Majestic Leap, oh my god, the art is beautiful. Launch yourself high into the air and grant yourself a barrier. While in the air, you can use the active again to drop down faster. So basically, old Majestic Leap, the cooldown is 32 seconds right now, and you get a 300 barrier for 8 seconds. I think we had seen in the patch notes it said he's got new animations in the air, right? Specifically Abrams. Look at the legs, man. Look at the legs. Look at the little flailing legs. Oh my god, I love that. Oh, I broke it by doing the tech. It's not, if you do the drop down into another jump, it doesn't like have the same effect anymore, which makes sense because then it's kind of giving you a jump effect. But yeah, Majestic Leap, Metal Skin, plus 15% bullet resist. Okay, that is just the base stats, by the way. Then become immune to bullets. Minus 1.5 meter a second active move speed penalty, minus 25% dash distance. So become immune to bullets, I think is safe to assume that we are getting like actual complete bullet resistance, and whatever it's called, the new item, is not going to penetrate it. But let's do a quick test. Yes, you can do, it's actually absurd how good this mode is, man. Where was that? Armor piercing rounds. Let's buy that on Geist here, and then go back to myself, and then make her mimic, and then buy this. Oh, hopefully that didn't reset her there.
If you need more protection, you know where to find
Come on. And then, yeah, it doesn't seem like she's able to penetrate Metal Skin. Yeah, so this is actual complete immunity, and our armor piercing rounds doesn't matter. So that is worth testing. Oh, but then actually, let me real quick go boop. And yeah, she does still have it. Okay. No. That. I broke everything. Wait. We're good. Okay. We're good. So that's Metal Skin. Rescue Beam. Heal a target allied hero and yourself for a percentage of max health. Once while healing, you can pull the target towards you. Can be self-cast, 25% heal amount over 2.5 seconds. Similar to before. A little bit of sprint speed, a little bit of ability range on it. Spirit Resilience, 30% spirit resist. When below 30% health, gain additional spirit resist. Again, another 30%. Very much the counterpart to Bullet Resilience up here that we looked at. Stamina Mastery, new name for superior stamina, it seems like. Plus 2 stamina plus 20% stamina recovery, plus 25% air jump and dash distance, allows an additional use of air jump, air dash, or wall jump before landing.
That's gonna help keep your blood on the inside.
Little hop. Little, boop, boop. Boop, boop. Oh, I'm out of stamina. It's basically superior stamina. So, that's what we've got there. Honestly, I kind of miss the superior stamina name. Maybe we'll go back someday. I feel like that was actually a pretty cool name. Trophy Collector, another new one. 2 meter a second sprint speed, 2 out of combat regen. Whenever you score an assist or kill, gain extra health, sprint, ability range, and passive soul generation. This effect stacks and it persists through death. So this just stacks up infinitely. You can get up to 14 stacks. Again, assist or a kill. It doesn't say, but I feel like it's inherently implied that it's on an enemy hero. So you can get, oh my God. Wait, this can go crazy. So this doesn't get diminished when you die. It stacks through death, 14 stacks, 25 bonus health per stack, 0.2 sprint speed per stack, plus 1% ability range, 20 souls per minute, which means if you participate in a ton of kills, get it all the way stacked, you can get yourself up to, what's the math, 350 health, 2.8 sprint speed, which is just fine, 14% ability range, and see, what would the math for this be? 280 souls a minute that you just inherently get for passive soul generation. So, like, that over another 10 minutes is going to be 2,800 souls, which isn't crazy, but, like, is paying itself off effectively. But then again, you have to fully stack it for that, and it upgrades from sprint boots, too. So, interesting item. Very, very new item. We didn't have anything like it. But I don't know for sure how good it is. I feel like other than potentially getting eventual big value out of the farm, if you manage to do so, which you definitely could. Like if you manage to get a lot of kill participation early, get it at least decently stacked within like 15 minutes, and then you get like a 35-minute game, then you're potentially not only getting eventually a free item by it paying itself off, but even buying like another tier 3 later on. So it's capable of being pretty crazy. But I think the inherent stats are just kind of like, not gonna be too much of something worth buying. You're definitely gonna want to be like stacking this up to get the value out of it, which is spicy. Oh boy, Veil Walker back down to tier 3, 175 bonus health, 10 spirit power. Oh, it's different. Oh, it's very Veil focused, not barrier focused. 175 bonus health, 10 spirit power. While walking through a cosmic veil, it grants you stealth, heal, and increased move speed. You're invisible for 7 seconds. You gain 4 move speed while invisible for those seconds. And you gain a 150 heal with a 14-second cooldown. So, this is spicy because this also means you can now use this to sustain a little bit. It's probably not worth because it's a 14-second cooldown, but that's also something to like kind of consider, is you can a little bit get like a fortitude angle out of it. Definitely slower, but like even if you're out farming, you're doing things, whatever it may be, you hit like 3 veils over the course of a minute, you get 450 health back. So, that's interesting. Warp Stone. Teleport straight ahead, gain bullet resist as it used to be. Same range, 40% bullet resist for 6 seconds with a 16-second cooldown. So less of a damage focus. I mean, no damage focus now. Very much more of a movement, safety, potential still initiation item, but a lot of bullet resist when you proc it for 6 seconds. Super, super valuable for that alone. I think Warp Stone's gonna be crazy. It was already good. I think it's gonna be crazy. Cheat Death. Oh boy. So we're getting into the tier 4s. We're getting into the spice. Oh, Divine Barrier is here. We had Guardian Ward. Divine Barrier has been upgraded to something. So Cheat Death. I think everybody has to be curious what the hell this is going to be. 200 bonus health. 15% spirit resist. When you would take lethal damage, instead become temporarily death immune. While death immune, you deal reduced damage, have reduced healing, and you move slower. 4-second duration, 70% damage reduction, 70% heal reduction, minus 2 meter a second move speed with a 130-second cooldown. So, this is potentially pretty crazy. This is kind of old Yamato ult vibes, but you are heavily nerfing yourself, but it definitely feels like you can generally move a decent amount. You can't do very much damage during it, but if we go die to Guardian here, come mess me up real quick. If we go die to Guardian right here and we can pretend it's more of like an actual team fight or something. Oh no, it's going so wrong. Oh, I'm death immune. I dip hard. And then, you know, maybe we actually create enough space and we're out of there. So yeah, during that whole time, we cannot take more damage, right? Let's go ahead and check it real quick. I'm still low. We can head on back in there. 4 seconds, we're just not dying, right? Yeah, we're just cheating death the whole time. And now we dip out, and now a minion does me dirty! Oh, right, because we have no cooldown. Okay, well, it would have done me dirty, but we have the no cooldown going, and it came in clutch. So, yeah, that is cheat death. That seems very potentially strong for really a variety of characters, variety of situations. I think this has so much potential, and that is a type of item they will probably very much be expecting to get potentially nerfed or just straight up reworked. But I'm actually looking forward to it. I think it's a very cool idea. It's just going to be, it's like, oh, you got to lock these motherfuckers down now when that cheat death goes off. And also, it does not say that they are CC immune. So you can still like control them and stuff like that. And again, it's like they can't really fight back well. They can't really heal well during it. Their movement speed is limited during it. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Colossus, similar to 4, 600 bonus health, 15% weapon damage. You don't get quite as much of a buff as you used to, but you get a similar Colossus buff. Yep. Similar item overall. Divine Barrier upgrades from Guardian Ward, 15% ability range. Remove all non-stun debuffs from the target. Can be self-cast. So this is like better debuff remover actually, because this includes ultimate abilities. From the target and provide them with a barrier and move speed. Can be self-cast. Cooldown is reduced by half when cast on someone else. So it's intended to be more of a support item, and it has a 36-second cooldown. So 600 barrier, 3 meter a second move speed for 5 seconds, 40 meter cast range. And basically this could be something where it's like, somebody's getting like Wraith ulted on your team or something like that. Boom, Divine Barrier, removes the debuff from them, speeds them up, gives them a big chunky barrier. And then if you're casting it on somebody else, it's only an 18-second cooldown. And then of course, cooldown is normal, should still be applying to items as it used to. So you can even reduce that further with cooldown items as well. Diviner's Kevlar, 15% ability duration. Upon casting an ultimate ability, gain a 1000 barrier and 25 temporary spirit power, 64 second passive cooldown, similar to what it used to be. Again, significantly smaller spirit power on this item, and we'll really see when we get to the actual purples, but I'm assuming that has to do with the spirit scaling that heroes now naturally get. Healing Tempo, 30% bonus healing effectiveness, 10% spirit resist, 6 health regen. Passive, applying heal to yourself or an ally, grants the target bonus fire rate and bonus move speed. 40% fire rate, 1.5 meter a second move speed, does not apply on innate regen or innate bullet / spirit lifesteal. I think that's very heavily implying that like Abrams one or Viscous Cube or like an actual true heal, where it has to be, you know, not like lifesteal from items, not like regen, you know, like actual healing. But sometimes you do get kind of abilities where it's like, is it lifesteal, is it regen, stuff like that. I think it'll stand out that little bit extra in those abilities. And healing, it says in Siphon Life, and healing, clarifying things up a little bit. But yeah, healing tempo, potentially pretty big boost to DPS, 40% fire rate is quite a bit. And keep in mind, this doesn't have a cooldown on it. This is just from doing it. So yeah, pretty spicy. Very much going to feel potentially devastating on like Siphon Abrams, for example. So Infuser, God, this will be terrifying on Geist with all of her twos. Oh my God, Geist is going to be a menace this patch. Infuser is a tier 4. Holy shit. Oh my, I just read it. I'm sorry. 16% spirit lifesteal, 10% spirit resist, 100 bonus health, active with a 30-second cooldown, gain 80% spirit lifesteal, gain 35 spirit power for 6 seconds when it is popped. Oh my God, Infuser is spicy now. That's crazy. Inhibitor, looking similar to what it was before. 15% weapon damage, 125 bonus health, 35% damage penalty to enemies that you shoot with your bullets, but it also applies healing reduction of 30% now. And these debuffs last for 2.5 seconds. Juggernaut, another new one, comes from Enduring Speed. 50% slow resist, which Enduring Speed already had. 2 meter a second move speed, barely an upgrade from Enduring. 25% melee resist, 8 health regen. Enemies that shoot you have their fire rate slowed. 40% fire rate debuff for 4 seconds. Very much a frontline tank. Don't try it. You're gonna get giga nerfed type of item, which is spicy and something new. And honestly kind of reminds me a lot more of like an upgrade from Return Fire than anything. Why did that? It's making poopy sounds. Stop making poopy sounds. You guys probably can't hear it that well. Leech upgrades from Bullet Lifesteal and Spirit Lifesteal, I think, which makes sense. I'm assuming Yeah, we cannot buy these after we have bought Leech. That makes sense. Because before that was, you know, it's kind of different because like before it upgraded from Heal. Stop making poopy sounds, man. Because before it upgraded from Healbane, but you couldn't buy Healbane and Leech before. So now this upgrades from Lifesteals instead. Gives you 30% of both, 120 bonus health, 12% weapon damage, and 12 spirit power. Phantom Strike. Yeah, I feel like that kind of covers it, right? It's a big stat stick. It's similar to what it was before. It does not have any Healbane passes because it doesn't upgrade from it. Phantom Strike, plus 15% weapon damage, plus 8 spirit power. Teleport to an enemy and pull them to the ground, dealing damage, move speed reduction, and disarm. Again, basically just old Phantom Strike as it was. 30-second cooldown. Plated Armor, plus 100 bonus health. Gain a chance to either deflect incoming bullets, preventing all weapon damage, or prevent all on-hit effects from bullets. 30% deflection percent, 60% on-hit prevention percent. So when you get shot now, you can prevent, you have a 30% chance to just simply prevent the damage. And you have, wait, which one's which? Okay. 30% to simply prevent the damage and a 60% chance to prevent all hits from the bullets, like toxic bullets, like haze fixation, I'm assuming would count in there. Mystic shot, stuff like that, Tesla bullets. So potentially like Infernus proc, probably. Like I'm assuming the debuff that you eventually build from Infernus bullet would count there as well. And that's a 60% chance. So I think, and we can maybe test it a little bit real quick, actually. Let's go ahead and play Infernus.
There has to be something.
And let's buy... wait, that's... I was like, where is it? It's because we're not looking at the right thing. Plated Armor. And make Mimic. Let's see, does he build up a burn to begin with? Because does he need to be leveled? Oh, yeah. So the burn does seem to be building up slower. There do seem to be hits that he's getting on me that aren't counting. Yeah, and you can see it bounce away. But, actually, hang on. Test. 1. Okay, yeah, no, it seems like it's bouncing fairly often. And I can't tell for sure, but I think both are procking, right? No, it's got to just be the on-hit proc. But it's just very visually evident when we're getting the actual deflection proc, is what it is. I think? I don't know. But like, it does at least partially work. Here, let me stop doing that. No. Back to Abrams. All right, so Siphon bullets, looking similar to before. 15% weapon damage, 10% bullet resist. Your bullets temporarily steal max HP from the enemy. 20-second steal duration, 65% HP steal. Permanently steal 1 stack of health if a Siphon target dies, and lose 2 stacks if you die, with a 0.8-second cooldown on the bullet. So similar to before. Spellbreaker is a new one. 25% spirit resist, 25% debuff resist. The next instance of high spirit damage you take is significantly reduced. 75% spirit damage reduction when you take 150 spirit damage for a 14-second cooldown. So, like, I don't know, maybe Grey Talon Owl coming in or something, and then it kind of does jack shit, or like Grey Talon Arrow. So that is pretty crazy. That is capable of doing quite a bit. Again, with this and with whatever, it doesn't actually upgrade from it, but there's another one that was similar before at some point. Was there? Wait, was there? Because I'm trying to think what it would be. I don't know, but at least with this as an example, because like maybe I'm really just thinking of barrier, right? Or with spirit shielding / weapon shielding, I should say. But with this as an example, if we're eating something like Dynamo ult, something that might do a lot of damage, but might do it over time, or like Moe and Krill ult, or really like, I don't know, Afterburn, you might even either have trouble proccing it to begin with, because this seems to be 150 in a single tick, right? So it might simply not proc. And then if it's kind of more of a tick type of damage, then even if you get it to proc, it's going to do that spirit damage reduction for that next tick, which is not going to be very important. So something like Grey Talon 1, Geist 1, stuff like that, that's a big burst. This should be really strong. For a lot of other stuff, it's potentially not going to be doing too much. Unstoppable, same as before, basically. 20% debuff resist, 75 bonus health. Does the unstoppable thing, 65-second cooldown, 5-second duration, upgrades from debuff reducer. Vampiric Burst is a green, 16% bullet lifesteal, 10% bullet resist, 100 bonus health, grants lifesteal, fire rate, and ammo. This added ammo is not limited by your max magazine size. 80% bullet lifesteal, 40% fire rate, 75% ammo. So basically Vampiric Burst in a similar form is what it was as a weapon item, but now giving you naturally like basically just no weapon damage. But it does still have its bullet lifesteal, fire rate, and its ammo that it came with before, 30-second cooldown. And again, kind of tying in to what we looked at before, the Fury Trance getting some more. Stop making the noise, man. It's making this like really rapid ploppy noise. It's like when you get like low on like the ketchup and you're squirting it out and you're like embarrassed by the sounds it's making. You have to like look around and be like, I swear I'm squeezing this almost empty ketchup bottle. It's doing that to me, man. I'm getting flashbacks. Anyways, yeah, interesting that it's green and we're getting these kind of more hybrid green options in here. So finally, Witchmail, another new item, 20% spirit resist, 10 spirit power, taking heavy hits of spirit damage from an enemy reduces a random ability cooldown. 1 second cooldown for the passive, so like this can proc every 1 second. 75 damage threshold, oh my god. 3 second cooldown reduction per hit. This could get absolutely crazy in certain circumstances. I think stuff like Infernus Burn feasibly should be able to hit hard enough that you could proc this, right? And at the very least, other smaller abilities, stuff like Pocket One, any of Geist's abilities could be proccing this, and you can just be really quickly getting some of your cooldowns back. That could get crazy. That is a very spicy item. So we are done with the greens. We move on to the purples. And then we also need to take a look at the new map. Apparently I should have done that first. I did not really consider how long this would take to get through. I want to look at everything. I'm sure like a lot of people probably will tune out of the video early, but I'm sure a lot of people do want to see me actually go over the items, get an in-game example to check things out. Interesting. Extra charge showing is invisible. I wonder if that's a bug. Oh, we don't have charges. So we just can't buy it. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I did not consider that for a second. I was just like, what the fuck's going on here? So the purple items, extra charge if we could buy it, 1 bonus ability charge, 5 bonus spirit power for charge abilities. Ooh, I like that change. I like that change. Extra spirit, 10 spirit power. Extra spirit staying strong. We'd talked about a lot of spirit power getting removed from items so far, and now it'll be interesting to see if they actually stay strong on the purples and they're more purple specific, or if just extra spirit itself is going to be keeping a lot of it. Mystic Burst charges up over time with bonus spirit damage, causing abilities dealing more than 80 to... What? I think they're just wording this like unnecessarily weird. I think it's just Mystic Burst. Yeah, charges up over time with bonus spirit damage, causing abilities dealing more than 80 damage to deal additional damage. 40 bonus damage, 14-second cooldown. If I am Abrams, and I have no cooldown, and I give somebody a slam, I learned a fucking nothing. Hang on. Okay, let's pick a different character. If I am Grey Talon, where's Grey Talon? There you are. If I am Grey Talon and I buy Mystic Burst and I shoot this Geist, 137, big Mystic Burst value. We do it again. We do it again. There you are. We do it again. Oh, that's what it's doing. That makes more sense. Okay, that was not written that way for no reason. There's an invisible rejuve. Everybody will look at it. I see. The more it charges, the more damage it does. So when we are initiating from out of combat, or at least out of dealing damage recently, I'm assuming still to an enemy hero, right? It doesn't say. Let me see. Boop. Oh, uh-oh. Taking the shot. Uh-oh. Mystic Burst does actually proc on... What the fuck? Souls look weird. We have not looked at that yet, have we? I did not even really consider they look very different. Hang on. Leading the target. Whoa. Are they supposed to look like this? What the hell? I swear they clarified... Oh! That's why that's actually really cool. They're like going from the shadow realm into actually emerging in their normal state. So it almost looks buggy as somebody that's been playing the game. But the reason is if it's emerging in that shadowy state, we can't shoot it yet. That's where it would have been before it popped. So we can track to where it's going to pop now. Yeah, it is really hard to see. I think this is a specifically terrible background for it, this right here. So it's been harder to see. Like right there, we can see boop. We can shoot it, and then we try and shoot it. Yeah, I couldn't shoot it right there because it hadn't emerged yet. That's cool. That's actually a sick UI change. Or I don't know if that would really count as UI, but like effect change. No, I took the Guardian. I'm too good. All right, anyways, Mystic Burst actually is a spicy change to it. So now doing damage less often to stack it up to a similar point to before, technically a little bit more damage. Generally, this will probably be a nerf to it, but I think it's kind of an interesting change to how it works. And a lot of items have kind of overall been effectively nerfed. Unlike Mystic Expansion, 20% ability range. Boom. Boom. So, you know, obviously this was Mystic Reach. It's, oh, it only imbues an ability. Okay. You can just imbue one thing now. So Mystic Reach, we can put on Great Talon. We'd only have the 3 of the ult. Plenty other heroes. You might have every ability. You might have a few abilities, whatever it may be. Wow. Yeah. Mystic Regen. Dealing spirit damage to enemy heroes grants you bonus health regen. Stacks when dealing damage to different heroes. This has spirit scaling on it, 0.06. So 6-second regen duration, 4 HP a second to start. Again, we have a little bit of spirit going, so it's going to stack up a little higher. So for example, if on Grey Talon I shoot somebody with an arrow and I do spirit damage, it's only to enemy heroes, then I overall gain, like, over those 6 seconds, I gain like 25 health. And again, with spirit power, we can stack this up, that 0.06 scaling. So if we're getting like 100 spirit, this is adding in an entire 6 to the health regen. So this would be going from like 25 health over 6 seconds to like 25 health total. That is that you heal from 6 seconds to like, what was it? 60, I think. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. To like 60 health over those 6 seconds, which isn't going to stand out a ton. That's 100 spirit power, but like it's something. It does scale a bit. Rusted Barrel, 50 bonus health, target an enemy to reduce their fire rate by 30%. So this is similar to Withering Whip. 30-second cooldown, 23-meter cast range, 5-second duration. Interesting that this is a spirit item. Why is this a spirit item? This seems, I'm sure, like, again, we're still deadlock in alpha. I'm sure there will be changes to come. Why is this not a green? I feel like this very much should be a green, right? Seems, I don't know. I guess Withering Whip was a purple. Maybe it shouldn't be a green. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I've countered my own point. Spirit Strike, similar to what it used to be, seems like it's lacking a little bit on the spirit damage, and it has a little bit less spirit resist. Otherwise, a similar item does not improve melee damage now, which is interesting, but I think kind of fitting. On to the tier 2s. Arcane Surge now a tier 2. Does upgrade from extra stamina. Spicy. There might be some interesting upgrades that I've missed. So extra stamina into Arcane Surge. +1 stamina, +12% stamina recovery. When you dash jump, the next ability you use will have bonus range. Oh my god, this could get crazy. Will have bonus range, duration, and spirit power. Lasts up to 7 seconds. So remembering what we went through with Kinetic Dash just simply does the Kinetic Dash thing. Every time you Kinetic Dash, it will give you the Kinetic Dash proc. You cannot infinitely scale your ammo, but otherwise you can just keep it always up. You can have that +8 total extra ammo. You can have that, whatever, 25% fire rate or whatever it may be. Of course, you need the stamina, you need the dash jumps to keep that going. Arcane Surge, you can do the same thing. Arcane Surge, it'll just be whichever time you dash jumped last for those 7 seconds, you can get Arcane Surge proc. So, if we buy this on Grey Talon right now, and we go a little like fast stamina, and we're surging. Oh, my cooldown's too long. And we're surging. And we're surging.
Can't run forever.
And we do it again.
Engage.
Then we can just be styling on people all over the place. Now, of course, we're not really going to be able to keep our stamina up that much, but interesting change to it, man. Interesting change. Arcane Surge not only so much cheaper, but potentially getting a lot of frequent procs. This could get really scary. This is absolute must buy on Dynamo, I think now. It is cheap. It is still insane for his ultimate. And as one, this is pretty cracked. Bullet Resist Shredder, 90 bonus health, 20% melee resist. Reduce bullet resist on enemies when you deal spirit damage. Same exact as before, 12% bullet resist. Yeah. Cold Front, +10% spirit resist. Release an expandable ice blast that deals spirit damage and slows targets it hits. I think the slow's a little stronger. 60% move speed slow for 4 seconds. I want to say at least the percentage is higher. But then otherwise it's Cold Front. It does have spirit scaling. It had spirit scaling before, but now it's more evident. 0.5 times, I think would have been about what it was before, if not the exact same. Oh my god, it goes into something. Holy shit. We'll look at that later. Compress cooldown. Oh, you know what? There might not be cooldown for items anymore, which in a way is kind of sad. And we'll see if that's actually true. Maybe I'm already forgetting. No, actually, you know what? Okay. No. Oh, there might not be cooldown for items anymore. Cooldown. We might get spoilers. Oh, okay. Yeah, we did get spoilers, but there is still cooldown for items. It's just more specific. So, yeah. Going back, compress cooldown, tier 2, imbue an ability to reduce its cooldown by 18%, so more than improved cooldown for a single ability, though, so generally going to feel worse than improved cooldown. Duration extender, imbue an ability to increase its duration, 20% ability duration, so again, more than duration extender, but only for that one ability. Improved spirit is a tier 2, not a tier 3. 18 spirit power, might seem like a decent nerf, but it kind of feels fairly fitting for what it would be for a tier 2, I think. 1.5 out of combat regen, that's all it does. Keeps things simple. Mystic Slow is now a tier 2, getting all sorts of changes up in here. 50 bonus health, 1 meter a second sprint speed. When the target takes spirit damage, they have their move speed reduced. 30% move slow for 2 seconds. So no fire rate slow, only move slow, but the move slow is 30%. Lasts similar to before with 2 seconds. I don't remember if it was 2 seconds or 2.5 seconds before. It's got an upgrade too. So yeah, this seems to be replacing Suppressor, right? No, Suppressor's over here. Oh, so they're just separated. Oh, this could get kind of devastating. Mystic Slow in a T2 slot, Suppressor in a T2 slot. I don't know. Would it be devastating? Overall, it would be cheaper than Mystic Slow used to be. You can buy them independently. It would effectively do a similar thing. I don't know. There's definitely potential there. There's definitely potential. I think Mystic Slow is going to have a lot of potential as a tier 2 item. Mystic Vuln, 8% spirit resist. Only 8% spirit resist is taken now when you're doing spirit damage, or reduced, I should say, when doing spirit damage. So a little bit of a nerf to it. Quicksilver Reload, your imbued ability charges up over time with bonus spirit damage, bonus fire rate, and bonus bullets on use. 100% bullets reloaded, 10% fire rate, 60 spirit damage. It has an upgrade, oh boy, and a 16-second cooldown. So overall, very similar to before. But getting kind of the Mystic Burst treatment as well, where it's charging up to maybe all of the effects based on how it's written. Yeah, so I'm not sure this one, I'm not sure how much meaning there is in that, right? Your imbued ability charges up over time. Like, how often are you not going to get the full value? Like, if we, I mean, we need no cooldown here. But if we're Grey Talon, like, our cooldown is down for a while because we don't have charges. So this maybe isn't the best example. Maybe we grab this.
I see.
Oh, okay. So it is just the spirit damage. We did actually get the fire rate right there. Okay. Okay. Right? Because it should be wearing off momentarily. Yeah, it just wore off. So, ooh, wait a minute. Wait, hold up. Oh, is no cooldown not affecting items right now?
Fire.
I think it is.
Targets.
Dead guys. Yeah, I want to see if we shoot a bit. Here, let's do actual cooldown.
Sending arrow.
Quicksilver. And the cooldown shouldn't be coming up yet. Wow, okay. Quicksilver actually does continue to reload. The scaling thing seems to be the spirit damage. That will be interesting. That will have a lot of potential with someone like Geist, right? Like, specifically, if we switch over to Geist right now, and I don't have cooldown taken, and I take Quicksilver reload, and we put it on the 3, and we get this so that it's a 3-second cooldown, and I'm out here shooting shit, and we get that, and I'm shooting, and I'm shooting, and I'm shooting, and we did that. Oh, so, okay. So it does, let's do it again. It actually, that's really interesting. So it percentage scales this. So we actually are getting less fire rate. Right there we have 2% and less ammo back. But we can partially get fire rate, partially get spirit damage, partially get ammo back. So that's interesting too. Where it's got a lot of potential where you can now squeeze out more value out of Quicksilver Reload instead of waiting for a full refresh compared to before, compared to waiting for the entire cooldown back. So here, Abrams probably a terrible person to do a lot of these. Honestly, Geist or Grey Talon probably is better for a lot of the spirit items. Slowing Hex slows movement of enemy target, also silences their movement-based items and abilities. Similar to before, 20% move speed slow, minus 30% dash distance. Yeah, it's still Slowing Hex. Spirit Sap, plus 50 bonus health. Target an enemy to reduce their spirit resist and spirit power by 12% spirit resist, 12 spirit power for a 12-second duration. They really like their 12s here with a 30-second cooldown. So let's see. Is this a lock-on? It seems to be a lock-on. Get flicky. Yeah, it's a lock-on. Okay. So with this, while that is going, while we have that effect on them, minus 12% spirit resist, minus 12 spirit power for them over those 12 seconds. Yeah, kind of like an old, it sort of feels like what Withering Whip used to do offensively before, but for a spirit user, where you're shredding a lot of resist, like stacking that with Mystic Vuln is going to take off 20% spirit resist, and you can get to, I don't know, just blasting them. So, interesting new item to work with. Suppressor, 6 spirit power, 75 bonus health. Oh my god, Suppressor got kind of crazy. When you deal spirit damage to enemies, you also reduce their fire rate by 35% for 4 seconds. So, again, Mystic Slow and Suppressor does feel very much like old Mystic Slow for a lower price. Because Mystic Slow used to be $42.50, you'll be able to get these for $3,200. That is pretty strong. And of course for 2 item slots, which is potentially a downside. Decay, moved to tier 3, 8 spirit power, 90 bonus health, inflict damage. Oh, Decay users in shambles, inflict damage over time. And actually, it's a decent amount of damage. I don't know, maybe it's fine. Dealing damage based on their current health, 2.81% bleed per second, 35% healing reduction for 10-second duration. So it does have a low cooldown. It has a 22-second cooldown. You can get this off very often, and it does bleed for more than it used to. It's a pretty big bleed, but you cannot buy Decay for dirt cheap anymore. It is going to be a lot more expensive to get Decay. It's going to be almost 3 times the price of what it used to be. And so often this is bought for laning phase. Now it is a much more targeted counter item, which will be nice for anybody that's not a cringe Decay user. That'll be lovely. I don't even play characters that get hard countered by it. It's just annoying. I'll have to deal with it less. It'll feel more like, hey, they actually warranted this item. They actually put a lot into it. Nice. Disarming Hex. Oh boy. 100 bonus health, 1 meter a second sprint speed, disarm the enemy target and reduce their their bullet resist for 4 seconds. 4-second disarm active item. Haze mains are crying. Haze mains don't even know what's happening yet. They've been too distracted. They're like, oh, let's enjoy the patch. Let's look at all this stuff. And they don't even know disarming hex is just kind of low-key waiting here. It's just slipped in just one single item that is actually Moe and Krill 3 in item form. Get fucked on. Get absolutely shit on. You fool. Now again, debuff remover exists, debuff reducer exists, unstoppable, stuff like that, but those are expensive. Yeah, this is a big thing. That is 4-second disarm item, 30-second cooldown. That is crazy. Take a peek at how it shoots. Oh, it's a lock on too. Make life easy for me. And actually, if we're chucking disarms, we need to hit them for free. Yeah, that is strong. That is very strong. Greater Expansion. Again, Mystic Reach got renamed to Mystic Expansion. This is Greater Expansion. It's effectively improved reach. 8% spirit resist, 35% ability range on all abilities and items rather than an imbued ability. And then again, it also applies on items now compared to just one imbued ability. Knockdown, 100 bonus health. It seemed, shorter duration to apply, right? Unless they change this at some point. It only takes 2 seconds to go off. So apply a stun after 2 seconds. It's only a 0.5 second stun, but if they're airborne, that stun gets bigger. 40-second cooldown.
Knocking them down.
What is knockdown cooldown? I don't remember what knockdown timer was.
I need to spend
Maybe it's actually like similar. Rapid recharge. 2 bonus ability charges. What the hell? Wait, what build do I have on? Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense. I still have whatever the Geist build would be. I got the little note down at the bottom and it threw me. 2 bonus ability charges, 50%. Oh my god, this gets so strong so fast. So you go from 1 bonus ability charge with extra charge and 5 bonus spirit power, which is nice, to boom, 2 bonus ability charges, no big surprise, still rapid recharge, to the 50% faster time between charges, just instantly tack that on all at once, and 10 bonus spirit power for charged abilities. That is very, very strong. Charge enjoyers like me, rejoice. Silence Wave, I think it's safe to assume it's just going to be whatever. What was Silence called before? Was it literally just Silence? Launch an expanding projectile, which silences enemies for a short duration. Affected enemies also have their spirit resist and spirit power reduced. No surprise, this upgrades from Spirit Sap. For a longer duration. So silenced for 4 seconds. and then 12 second minus 12% spirit resist, and 12 second minus 18 spirit power to enemies affected.
If you like that, I got some other
Chuck this at somebody. Oh my, that's pretty cool. Boop. Boop. Oh, that is, and there's a little caw. We just be crowing, man. We just be crowing. That's an ongoing thing I have with my girlfriend. We have so many crows around where we live. I'm sure so many places do. Where the crows just be crowing in the streets, man. They think they own that shit. Just be cawing, just be strutting around. Boop. Boop. That's pretty cool. I like that. Hey, we actually buy, I still remember what it was called before. Silencing Hex, whatever it was. Silence Glyph, that's what it was called before. Hey, it doesn't suck ass. It's actually maybe cracked. Nice. It didn't completely suck. It generally sucked ass. There were situations it was so good before. Spirit Snatch. Upgrades from Spirit Strike, as it did. No big surprise. 10% melee damage. Before it had 0%. Old patch it had some, but like this patch it had 0% of Spirit Strike. 100 bonus health. When you perform a light or heavy melee attack against a hero, the attack deals extra spirit damage, which increases significantly now, which is nice. Also increases in scaling. Here it has 0.4 times scaling. Here it has 0.8 times scaling, so that's very cool. That's something where it is now going to significantly scale as an actual damage option. And then you're getting a 15% spirit resist steal, 15 spirit power steal, similar to last patch's version. Superior cooldown upgrade from compressed cooldown, which of course used to be, why can't I think of their names right now? Yeah, improved cooldown. So reduce the cooldown of all abilities and items by 27%, and then 4 out of combat regen. Superior duration, similar thing. Upgrade from duration extender, 28% ability duration to all abilities and items with 8% bullet resist coming along with it. Surge of power. Oh, this does not provide very much spirit power. I'm surprised. It does proc pretty often now though. Imbue an ability with permanent spirit power. When that ability is used, gain bonus move speed and maintain full speed while attacking. Oh, so it's actually really been sort of revamped. So it's a little bit of a Fleetfoot mix. Yeah, Surge of Power now gives you the Fleetfoot passive, but with less imbued ability spirit power, but then more fire rate and similar move speed to what it used to have with a lower cooldown. So you can proc this very often. So I recently had, I uploaded a Wraith video, and some people in the Wraith video were annoyed, or at least disagreed with, or at least questioned imbuing Wraith 1 with Surge of Power compared to Wraith 3, which is valid. You can do both, because Wraith 3 scales harder with the spirit power. But the thing is, Wraith 3 is a very long cooldown, and old Surge of Power had like a 12-second cooldown with still a 6-second duration. So if you want the Wraith 3 to hit hard, then you do still get, just generally, like for the full duration, you get a lot of extra damage on the Wraith 3. You get more damage in most scenarios compared to putting it on the card. But if you have the card, assuming you're actually landing shots and getting a lot of cards frequently late game, which is very normal, you can just keep spamming that shit out there. And you can keep your fire rate up. You still get decent damage boost to the card, but not as much as you'll generally get with the 3. And the big thing, at least for me with Surge of Power, in a lot of different builds, is you get that frequent move speed off. Because Wraith 3, we're getting maybe like 30, 40 second cooldown on Wraith 3. So often we might be getting like 5-second cooldown on the card if we're actively fighting, and assuming we still have like a charge ready in the tank whenever we need it. So we can keep that fire rate up, keep that move speed up so much more often. And now that's much more the focus of the item compared to before, less so the imbued spirit power. Tank Buster. This is the upgrade from Mystic Burst. So 75 bonus health, charges up over time with bonus spirit damage, causing abilities dealing more than 165 damage to deal additional damage, does 40 and max 7% of their max HP bonus damage from an 8-second passive cooldown, of course replacing Improved Burst. So very similar item to what Improved Burst would have been, but keeping that Mystic Burst change with his charging up over time. So if we're getting lots of abilities off, we might be getting small increments of this damage. If we are getting big hits, or we are recently coming in, having been like out of combat, or at least not hitting enemies, and again, that applies to minions as well, not hitting enemies with spirit damage, or at least with enough spirit damage, that we can get like a bigger proc, that 7% max HP proc and the full 40 damage. So Torment Pulse, 110 bonus health, 15% melee resist, significantly smaller pulse damage to enemies in the area. Every 1.5 seconds, we do 27 spirit pulse damage with 0.3 times spirit scaling. So Torment Pulse maybe not feeling so hot. We'll have to see. And finally, on to the tier 4s. We're going to have some spicy ones, I'm sure. Arctic Blast, upgrades from Cold Front. Release an expanding ice blast that deals spirit damage, freezing, and then slowing targets hit. I don't think I have a way to peek at what freezing does exactly. Targets take increased damage while frozen. Okay. 190 damage. Oh, hang on. Before we buy it, 175 damage. It has spirit scaling. 0.75 second freeze duration. 15% frozen bonus damage. 12 meter end radius. 30 seconds. So I think it's going to expand like Cold Front. And I can't tell if it is a stun or a root with the freeze. It is a root with the freeze is what it looks like. So it roots them and then it still slows, right? And then slowing. Okay, so it's actually, I think it's a little bit bugged right now. Maybe not bugged, but I don't think the description fully says everything that it's meant to say because it doesn't say what the slow does. So I'm assuming it's effectively also the Cold Front slow. Yeah, seems like it's at least similar to the Cold Front slow, but it doesn't state that. It just says that it slows. But then also is doing damage and freezing, and then while targets have that freeze on them, they'll take extra damage by 15%. So upgrade to Cold Front, that's going to make it a little more devastating. Boundless Spirit. Oh! Okay. So this is, we're getting kind of a weird mixture here where Extra Spirit kind of does about what it used to. Improved Spirit, because it's in tier 2, seems like it's doing about what it would before. Boundless Spirit does take a decent hit to its overall spirit power. 40 spirit power, 100 bonus health, 4 out of combat regen. But new passive, heal and gain bonus move speed for a short duration every time you cast an ability. 100 healing on ability cast, 2 meter a second move speed, 3 second duration. Geist, oh my god, get in here. Geist, hear me out. Hear me out, guys. Your world is about to change as you know it. You no longer take damage when you 3. You no longer take damage. Oh. 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 That is a crazy Geist item. That'll be good on other people as well, but oh my god, this is a crazy Geist item. Wow. Yeah, so Boundless Spirit has been changed up quite a bit. Curse. Wow, 20% weapon damage still. I'm surprised. Yeah, other than that, does the curse thing. 3.25 second curse. Interrupts everything ever. 50 second cooldown. It's curse, right? Echo Shard, new stats by a lot. Does a bunch of different little stuff. 5% cooldown, 5% fire rate, 5% spirit resist, 5% bullet resist. Longer cooldown by a lot. 33 second cooldown. Reset the cooldown of the imbued non-ultimate ability. Imbued. You don't have to time this anymore. Is interesting. And it might, hang on. Hold up. We got to cook right here. If we... 2? We can use this shit so fast. It goes so fucking fast now. Oh my god. Look at that. Hang on. Yeah, no, that is crazy. That is crazy. So there are situations where this will be nerfed. On Bebop, it probably will not feel as good, right? Actually, hang on, I have to do something funny. We don't have to do something funny. But on Bebop, if we go this and we put it on the 2, then like, oops, wrong key, there we go. Then like we can do the Bebop thing, but it's gonna be a way longer cooldown than it used to be. And normally before, the thing with Bebop would be like, here, get our stuff back up. We're doing a little boop. Oh my god, I hate that key, I need it rebound. But like we're kind of doing that as we go in, right? Like we get pretty quick bombs off, but we're getting about like double the actual time. Get back over there. Here, get back over here, come here. We're getting about double the time between the Echo Shard cooldown that we used to. So Bebop, not necessarily loving it. But then like Abrams, this is now extremely viable on a, oh, Dynamo we got to check out at some point for what he looks like. So like who is crazy with this? Who is so dirty compared to before? Holiday, maybe? Potentially. Yeah, I think Grey Talon gets more value than before, but probably not enough to be particularly worth it. It's easier to work with on Warden now. You can double Warden Prison. We can finally do Life in Prison Warden video. I don't remember. I might have done this at some point and we just didn't get it. Like, it's hard to pull. It takes so much money to pull this build off. So it's a really funny build. It's lots of duration, double Prison Warden, where you basically double trap them and then just kind of make them sit there and like intentionally like it's actually like a literal torture build warden. It's funny as fuck, but it's pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like on a lot of characters it's not. Ooh, is it crazy on Paradox? I'm trying to picture how crazy is this on Paradox. It might be gross. I don't know if I've ever built bomb Paradox. So if we do this,
Time to make my move.
I guess here it's not going to really matter too much, huh? Oh, whoops, that's on normal cast. Let me do this again.
Time wall set.
Yeah, so I feel like here it's going to be similar. We're just getting the advantage of the Echo Shard refreshing faster than normal, not having that same stall to our ability to play the game that it used to have. But if we put this on the 3, getting lost here. If we put this on the 3, perhaps, and then again move it over.
Storing time.
Wait. Oh, I'm getting. We have no cooldown on. I got it on.
Playtime.
And we put it on the 3.
Here we go.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like a little cleaner. It's really not that crazy. It would maybe stand out more on Time Wall. I'm sure there is some cooler stuff that I'm not like really considering at the moment for it. The big one that really stands out to me is Abrams. Because I feel like so many characters you already kind of just spammed the same ability again. Abrams, it was slow enough before that it was a problem. And I feel like there have to be some characters where there's specific situations where you're getting so many buttons off so fast, it's hard to get the Echo Shard to work the way you want. So I do think for Paradox, it's probably a nice quality of life thing, but I can't relate because I don't really play Paradox. So here, let's go back to Talon, perhaps. But yeah, Echo Shard, new change to that. That is going to change things up a bit. Escalating exposure. Minus 8% spirit resist on spirit damage, similar to Mystic Vuln. Of course, it's still an upgrade from Mystic Vuln. Plus 20% spirit resist. Dealing spirit damage applies a stacking spirit amp that increases your spirit damage to the target. Plus 4 spirit amp per, or plus 4% spirit amp per stack. Up to 14 stacks. 12-second duration. 0.7-second time between those different stacks. So am I losing my mind, or is this escalating exposure used to just simply take away spirit resist, right? I haven't bought this item in forever because it's been so ass for so long. They've made it an amp instead of a reduction, right? For the actual passive component that's unique to it. Or is that something that's already been in and I've just been tripping out? I don't know. And I just haven't noticed it because I haven't bought it in so long. E-Shift, still a tier 4 as it was in the recent update. Active 24-second cooldown, very low cooldown. You enter a void state, become untargetable and invincible for a short duration, during which you float slowly and cannot perform actions. Afterwards, you gain 20 spirit power, 30% spirit resist, and 3 meter a second move speed for 5 seconds. And the duration of E-Shift itself lasts for 4 seconds, and it can be canceled early. This is really more so for anybody that hasn't seen this in a while. This is how E-Shift works at the moment. We can cancel our way out whenever we want, otherwise it would have lasted longer right there. But again, tier 4 compared to what it used to be as a tier 3, but you get a little bit more freedom in the fact that you can move a tiny bit in it. Now you can cancel it early. You get a bunch of buffs after. Potentially a really strong item. It's just pretty situational for when you'd want to be building it. Focus Lens is a new one. 16% fire rate. Target an enemy to silence them. A portion of all damage dealt during the silence gets applied to the target when the silence wears off. Wow. 4.25 second silence duration. Already potentially some strength there. 30% damage on expire, 27-second cooldown. And I'm assuming this is a lock-on. It is. Yeah, they seem to have kind of like a new thing that they're recycling through some of these new items. I'm assuming it's somewhat placeholder, where it's locking on like that. I'm assuming eventually it'll, at least the effect that gets launched out, I'm assuming it'll eventually look a little more stylized. But yeah, with this, if we're doing like 50% of somebody's health, while this is on them, then afterwards we're gonna get 30% of that 50, which would be like 15-ish% extra damage to proc at the end. So potentially we could do this, do just a little bit of damage to Infernus here, and then boom, we get a little proc at the end. So honestly, to me, this doesn't seem too crazy for a tier 4. Might be underwhelming to start. We will see. Lightning Scroll upgrades from Mystic Slow, minus 30% move speed on spirit damage, 75 bonus health, 1 meter a second sprint speed. Damage from your ultimate applies a stun, oh boy, and deals bonus spirit damage after a short delay. It is purely based on the ult, so this goes absolutely crazy on Vindicta. It does not have an inherent cooldown. This effect can only trigger once per target per ultimate and cannot activate on ultimate. Oh, cannot activate on ultimates with charges. Never mind. Never mind. Specifically targeting poor Invicta or Vindicta. 0.75 seconds stun duration, 150 spirit damage, 3-second delay before the effect as well. Okay. So it does an insta-proc. Oh my god, this is gross on Abrams. Wait. Back to Abrams. Back to Abrams. Actually, it's kind of decent on Grey Talent too if you're actually getting enough owls off in fights. Going up. Oh yeah, new effects. Slam. Oh my, he dunks like he's fucking Thor now. This is extra. This actually feels so much more natural. Oh my god, Dunk King. So you can Abrams ult people and then the people will get stunned afterwards too. That is so gross. So we can do like this. And then the stun. So maybe we should be doing this into this and then into the stun. That is a lot of CC. Get dead, bozo.
Shit. I like that guy.
Get dead, bozo. Sorry, I had to finish him off. They're getting too low. It was going to bug me otherwise. Magic Carpet finally gets to look like a magic carpet in the item screen. Obviously, it already did other than that. 15% ability duration, 10 spirit power, 100 bonus health, active 32-second cooldown. Summon a magic carpet that will fly you away. While flying, you are immune to slows, and doing any action will dismiss the carpet. 9.2-second duration, scales with spirit? Maybe? Or is this from... Oh, because the item itself gives us duration. That's what it is. I was seeing it like increase. I was trying to figure out why it'd be increased when we have no items. So, yeah, basically, it's magic carpet still. Mercurial Magnum upgrades from Quicksilver Reload. 20% max ammo, 7 spirit power. Your imbued ability charges up over time with bonus spirit damage, bonus fire rate, and bonus bullets on use. Until your next reload, your bullets deal bonus spirit damage based on your spirit power. Plus 30% of your base bullet damage. 0.6 times scaling. Oh my god. So this is intentionally made so that characters that have fewer bullets that do bigger damage, it's a percentage scaling, so they will not be screwed on this. Fire rate is not super important for it. You know, like Haze or Ivy, somebody that shoots fast is not going to inherently get like crazy value in comparison. And then also we get the inherent charge up time that's doing 60 spirit damage. We also get that bonus 30% fire rate. So if we do this, because it says until your next reload, let's say we want to prop it. Oh my god, I can't say the words. Proc it on our 2. Look at that go. And the damage isn't that high because we're like level 1, right? Because we haven't scaled into it with other items. But we can get these procs 30%. Ooh, even just from buying it, it goes up a lot. Yeah, a big chunk of our base bullet damage after this procs will be used until our next reload. So, oh my god. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on.
I should go shopping.
Hold up. Max level. This. This might be nightmare fuel. It's a good thing you can disarmor till the end of time now. This on Haze. Reload. Normal bullets. Doing a little something like that. We got a fixation proc in there. We'll let it expire real quick. Oh, is it bugging a little bit? Oh, there we go. We'll let that expire real quick. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh. Yeah, so until that next reload, is there any other duration to it? I want to see... We'll let this linger a little bit here. It really does seem like it's just the full duration of the mag itself. Oh, that's funny. He still has an item on him. I don't remember what item I got. Must still be on the bot, so it's like ricocheting sometimes. Yeah, so just actually the full duration of the bag. We get that bonus spirit damage. That is a cool item. That's pretty sick. All right. Mystic Reverb next. Dude, it's Mystic Reverb. It no longer has the all the effects that it had before for its like base stats or whatever. It's now just 15% spirit lifesteal for base stats. Other than that, it's just reverb as normal. Refresher has a 300-second cooldown, no base stats. Reset the cooldown of all your abilities and restore all of your charges. Again, refresher like before, basically. Scourge, a new item. 125 bonus health, 6% cooldown reduction. Apply spirit resistance and an aura on a friendly target that deals damage to enemies proportional to their max health. It can be self-cast. deals 3 point, oh my god, this can get crazy. 3.5% max health per second, 40% spirit resist, lasts 10 seconds with a 10-meter radius and a 35-meter cast range with a 36-second cooldown. So if we want to self-cast this, look at that. We're kind of getting double Abrams Siphon here. So this is doing its own thing. We don't have to look at them like Abrams Siphon. It's just a similar AoE. I think it's actually the exact same size, right? Not quite. It's very close to the same size. But it's just inherently doing, I think, our max health, right? Proportional to their max health. Okay, no. It is their max health. Because he has way more health and his is going up way faster. But it's max health, not current health. So this can kill people. So, yeah. That's something for frontliners to go crazy with. Shiv Abrams, gonna love it. Gonna have a fun time. Definitely like a Torment Pulse. Like you can go like Torment Pulse, Scourge, Siphon build, something like that. Go crazy with it. Mo will love it too. Oh my god, Mo and Krill going Outfire Scourge combo for the ultimate. Spirit Burn, 10% ability range. Another new item here. Dealing significant spirit damage to an enemy within 5 seconds causes an explosion dealing damage and a burn to nearby enemies. While burning, enemies take damage over time and receive reduced healing. Deals half damage to non-heroes and does not expend its cooldown unless a hero is hit. Ooh, so you can still proc it, but it will not get wasted on NPCs. That's cool. So 400 damage threshold, 120 explosion damage, 24 damage per second, 20-second cooldown. So let's see here. It's got, wait. I'm trying to figure out, oh yeah, okay, here it is, within the 5 seconds. So I think if we just max out an Abrams one, maybe we chuck in a Boundless as well, then we should be able to proc it with even Abrams as an example, and we'll get explosion damage and then also a burn.
Come on.
Oh, hopefully it procs fast enough. There we go. We got the boom. And then we got a little burn going on top. And then, of course, you know, something like Geist one, or just continuing to continuing to stack damage through like Afterburn, like whatever it may be. Like you can just, it could be different sources of spirit damage, can proc that. And then again, 20-second cooldown, but it will only actually proc that cooldown on a hero. Yeah, potentially pretty strong. 8-second debuff duration. So it's capable inherently of doing almost 300 spirit damage once it's procced. And it's got 80% healing reduction as well on top of that. So that could be really, really gross. And I'm sorry to say, it's our final item, but it is still a new item. Vortex Web, plus 10% ability range, 42-second cooldown. You get to throw a vacuum grenade, pulling all enemies into a small area and applying slowing hex. And it does upgrade from slowing hex. It's got, looks like base would be 11-meter capture radius, and a 35% move speed slow, minus 40% dash distance to enemies affected, 4-second duration. So it's kind of like applying that slowing hex like it said, but it's also going to vacuum them in. Oh, no. I have to do it. 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 I bitch about it so much. It's so fucking cringe. Oh, God. Oh, God. Make me stop. Make me stop, please. Don't let me do it. Let's not. We're not going to have fun. We're not going to have fun, Vindicta. Shut up. Oh, wait. Did this just automatically imbue this, or did I forget? I think I just forgot. Okay. I think I just did it so fast. My God, the speed. Yeah. So we can do, hang on, this isn't enough. What am I doing? 2.5 second tether duration? Come on, that's soft. Where is our hookup? There we go. Let's get you going. Let's give a little peek. What else extends duration right here? Oh, magic carpet, you say. That's something cringe that we could build. This is something cringe that we could build. Here we go. 3.5 second tether duration. And that should be, now it's probably wearing off. Let's do another one. And it's probably wearing off. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay, to be fair, does this realistically matter when you're already tethering them? Probably not, but like this probably isn't actually going to make this build really any more cringe because it's kind of already just stacking with what the tether does. It's not going to keep you forced in there the way tether would. Like if we find an example here, it's just going to be that they'll be able to get on out. They will be slowed though. So it's really not going to like make this build stronger. I don't think it'll be super unnecessary, but I immediately had the visualization of fucking the triple tether. That's immediately what I pictured, because that's basically what it's similar to. Oh my god, man. So, that does it for the items. That gets us through. Let's take a short peek at the different heroes and how they're feeling that have gotten some changes. Abrams dash. Definitely feels a lot more animated. Abrams feels pretty cool right now. And again, the ult. Dunk! Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it's also knocking them up. I see, I see. I'm trying to remember. I didn't do this before, right? So it's still stunning, but it's also knocking them up along with the stun. This would have had to be a recent change that I somehow missed out on, but I feel like it... Oh my god, wait a minute. I was holding melee. Uh-oh. Hang on. I feel like there's more of a delay to being able to react as Abrams now. Okay, Siphon does react immediately. I was spamming dash, and that's how fast it went off. So I do feel like there's more delay to Abrams ult now, I think, too. But visually, it looks very cool. Yeah, again, I was trying to dash as soon as possible there. So Abrams getting some stuff. He's also got the floppy legs. Oh, wait, that was from Majestic Leap, wasn't it? Not from this. Yeah, if we go Majestic Leap, where is it? Come to me, my baby. My sweet. Give me the floppy legs. Give me the floppy legs. Give the little... I love that, man. So Abrams has gotten some changes. Dynamo we have not looked at yet. Oh, he looks very similar. Okay. He looks very, very similar. Let's get a little bit of an expansion here. Surge looks similar. 2 looks similar. Oh. So the quantum entanglement kind of holds you in place longer, right? Yeah, like your camera doesn't move with it. I feel like the camera moved before, right? So that's different. Oh, we can't do it like that. We have to have it buffed beforehand. So the 3 looks a little different, a little bit more of an Aurora type effect to it, because that is, you know, it's rejuvenating Aurora. And then let's check out the whole. I think this is similar. Yeah, I think Singularity is similar. So Dynamo looking a little bit shinier. I can't see my own face, but hang on, we've got a fix for that. Hang on, we've got a fix for it. Whatever, we'll do this. Yeah, I feel like he still mostly looks like Dynamo. He does look a little less goofy, but really not all that much. He still looks like he could be like a Disney or a Pixar character for the most part. Just a little less like actually animated, but only somewhat. So I know some people were worried about that. It's not. I feel like it's not as strong of a change as it looked like in the card art. Actually, I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I feel like he's still mostly feeling like Dynamo. I think it's pretty subtle, and it mostly just polishes him up a little bit. Back to me. So McGinnis, I think, is the only person we should really be missing out on. One thing I will do is let's haze.
Will bar my path. Death comes for you.
So I think Hayes' voice got changed. I'm sure there were some other voices that got changed, or I guess I'm not sure. But it seems pretty subtle. Like I think they literally just either got a new person to do it or redid the lines with a different style to it. If I remember right, was in the patch notes. McGinnis is going to be looking quite a bit different. It is very hard to see right now. I think turrets. Oh, no, turrets are not the same.
I got us covered.
Very different.
This is our battlefield.
The wall is similar. Oh, that's right. We got to check out McGinnis ult too.
Fire!
Okay. Unless I am losing my mind, we still get a little bit punished in our ult, right? I'm moving. Okay, yeah, we definitely get slowed a little in ult. So it didn't specify that in the patch. It was specifically saying that you can now dash in ult, is what it was trying to emphasize. Whereas I got all excited that we got full move speed and dashing in ult. So the ult itself definitely has like a different aim to it, I feel like. A different look to it. As far as like casting at range is concerned. And this is the closest I can cast it. Like that. Let's also see while we're at it if we can. I can't remember. We might have been able to do this before. Oh, I guess we can't. Yeah. So we can't use items during ult either, which we couldn't do before. Whenever we'd done the Majestic Leap McGinnis build. I'd forgotten that we were doing. There you are. There you are. That we were doing this, which this you still can do, but like you have to do it in advance. So yeah, McGinnis changes as well. And the final thing. Oh wait, hang on. I'm doing so many people dirty right here. This is what she actually looks like right now. I know some people might not be. Oh my God. You can maybe hear I'm a little sick. I'm getting congested at the very end here. Yeah, some people might not be a big fan. I feel like there's a chance there's still more stuff to come. Some people might be thinking she doesn't look dirty enough. She still looks a little bit dirty. Maybe not the arms so much. She looks ripped as fuck. Holy. McGinnis is a fucking unit, man. How many? Oh my God. I'm trying to think. I feel like there aren't very many ripped characters in the game, right? How big is Warden? Damn. Thick mama. Right? Hang on. Give me control back. Thick mama. That's proper, man. That's proper. Let's see what our zip line's like. Oh, I feel like we don't get to see the McGinnis dumpy as much anymore, so we don't get the proper thick mama representation, which is what I was going to show which was what I was going to show right there, is with the old McGinnis art. Is like, holy shit, McGinnis loaded into the game. Look at that dump truck head to lane. Maybe you don't get to see it as much right now. My God, unit of a woman. Absolutely huge. Boop. That looks derpy as hell. There we go. But yeah, a little bit dirty. Obviously, very big change to the face. Decent change to the style. Much more of a like Arm & Hammer kind of like denim look going on. Like the old school Arm & Hammer woman. God, is this me getting old? Jesus. Because this was just something I was like vaguely aware of growing up because like baking soda exists. But I'm now realizing that Gen A might actually like that seems actually probably farther out of like your ballpark, right? The younger you get. I don't know. Like it's still something people have, but like, I don't know. My generation is the work less with tools generation. I feel like Gen A is probably like the know less about like even basic cleaning product generation. But I don't know. Maybe that's just in my head. But I'm trying to picture like how many people that are like 12 right now even like know what the Arm & Hammer woman looks like, even though it's just like a basic trademark like logo that you just see on products as a kid. I don't know. It's probably still pretty common. But yeah, it's like an old school, very well-known like icon character for art as far as like products are concerned and product placement. So they kind of have like that style look to her to some degree. Very fitting with the theme of Deadlock, kind of that era of like working woman. And then she's got the red bandana. She's got the new clothes. Her gun is different now, very much cooler. Her turrets are different. Her kind of like whole general mechanical thing that she's got going on is different and more stylized, which is cool. And I think that covers the art changes for heroes. And so an update is available. I don't care. Let's go explore the map. It has only taken 3 hours. Let's go explore the map. Yeah, boom, in your face. I think there are probably still even more changes to come. I would absolutely expect, even with the things that are getting tweaked right now. But it's looking good, man. It's looking good. So the main thing by far that has been changed with the map is this right here, is the base. It has received very, very big changes. So when you spawn in, I think it is safe to assume that you are spawning up here. I do not know for sure if enemies can literally dive your spawn location, because I feel like based on appearance, it sort of seems like it. We can maybe go try and dive the enemy base in a little bit. Can I buy stuff in this mode? Can I just buy whatever the hell I want? I can. Okay. Let's get crazy. I'm not even gonna like look that much. I don't know, just like big items. 2100 health bar. Oh, I guess we can also like max level ourselves too. There we go. I'm a unit now. I'm a unit. So eventually we'll be able to like go dive their base. Here, actually, one thing we'll squeeze in is enduring speed, which we'll put in here. Be a little faster. So yeah, coming out of base, we go down a ramp. We've got these little gargoyles right here. I'm not totally sure, but I think these are the things that actually shoot and defend the base. It's seeming like we don't have any soul orbs to shoot, but maybe that's just going to activate at like 5-10 minutes. I don't remember when that turns on. I feel like it just looks kind of like deader than it used to, but there's still a thing there. So I guess there's probably still soul orbs. We've got our little shop right here. We don't have any sort of drop downs that we used to have. There is no longer a drop down / like back up into the base. So our way into the base, if we are fighting outside of it, defending our patron, is going to be, got our shrines here. We don't have any sort of middle area. We don't have any sort of drop down area unless it transforms, actually. We're not going to spend the entire time to siege a base, I don't think. Should I? Fuck it, man. Maybe I should. Maybe we should get our flexes and we should actually just go push a lane at some point. So what would be good for that? What is good for pushing right now? Ricochet will be nice to get things done. Blast cannon. God, actually, what else? Actually, what else? Sharpshooter, maybe? I'm going to keep my greens. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. And then we'll probably be healthy, so we can just get, like, Hollow Point or something. I don't know. Something like that should be fine. So we'll still look at everything first, but we'll actually push down a lane and see what ending is feeling like, because it does seem like it'll be very significantly different. So, yeah. Patron has an actual throne. There is no, like, underneath kind of lowered patron area. We've got the side door over here that goes to a tunnel back in. Not too many people use this too often, but this is something that's there. It's been reshaped, redesigned a little bit. Then we've got our left lane, our middle lane, and our right lane. And then we've got these little corner areas here that have more structure to them than they used to. There's also a rope to get up top to kind of a similar area that we used to have before. So everything feels a lot tighter in here. It feels much more circular and structured compared to just kind of big open rectangle like it was before. Oh my god, we have 3-minute urns right now? Is that just like specific to this mode? It might just be specific to this mode. I feel like urns should not be spawning at 3 minutes. And unless I'm tripping, I don't think that was in the patch notes, so I'm assuming it doesn't normally. But I don't know. Maybe I missed that somehow. So yeah, this room, of course, will be the same as the other room. So tight quarters for defending, right? It's like, if you're actually defending, this is not remotely safe. They got a Paradox, they got a Bebop, you're trying to peek out from that little corner, actually do anything. Yoink! Getting yoinked right out of there. So this is very much a, like, maybe if you're attacking, maybe you actually come up here to get a new angle to attack from. Realistically, you'll probably, like, wall jump your way on up as you tend to, right? Although, actually, these are pretty tall. Oh, these are pretty tall. Hang on. Wait, that didn't wall jump? Give me my stamina. Come on. Hook me up. What the... Wall jumping is different now. Whoa. Okay, okay. Wall jumping is different. I am so used to doing my little into the wall, out of the wall. And it doesn't actually, like, work like that. You kind of have to bounce into it. That feels weird. I haven't tried that yet. Okay. So... yeah, anyways, that aside, trying to think, what else is there to really talk about? I feel like, I don't know, this mostly covers the base changes. There's this thing right here, so I'm very curious. This entire area might change when the patron transforms, assuming the patron has a similar transformation process that it kind of like structurally breaks or something. We can now see the walkers and the health bars of objectives through the walls, as we noted in the patch notes. The boxes have new art. The boxes now have...
I wonder what's at the shop.
I wonder what's at the shop. Fairfax Company property art for that stuff. And then naturally, you know, golden urns already look good. Walkers have like etched in carvings. So these now feel more unique. There's new map art spread throughout. So over here, we've got some new art here. Oh, we've got a new veil back here, right? Don't remember this veil being here before. Of course, we've still got our teleporter. Got badass church. Let's see. Yeah, mostly looking the same over here in green, I think. Nothing too crazy different. And then we'll go ahead, do have buff spawning at 5 minutes. We'll head on over to blue lane. We'll head on over to yellow lane. And I think we'll just straight up push yellow lane and see what ending is feeling like. I guess we should go all the way back on. What am I doing? We should see the entire thing. And then the way in. Look at that, man. Look at that. How different does that look? Look at the height. Imagine a Vindicta sniping from up here as you try and come in siege. So very much feels like a proper siege into the base now. This feels like some Roman type shit. Where it's like we're coming up the steps to the Colosseum, to the throne room, whatever it might be, right? Obviously there's literally a throne. It literally is kind of a throne room. So very cool. More art on the way out to mid. Check that out, man. Check that. Oh, one of the lanes is funny. It's here. It's here. Yeah, so we've got a lot more of the shops done here over at Broadway. Check this out. Dr. Rockwell's dental office. No pain, just gain. Trust our experts. Dr. Rockwell's dental office. I love that, man. I love that. So, yeah, a lot new art. Here is a change that happened to the corner things that I would have mentioned in the patch notes. Mid is still mid. For anybody wondering, mid is still mid. It's still like this. I expect that it'll get touched up more at some point, probably fairly soon. But if we head up the rope here, this building, now the rope goes all the way to the roof of it, but the roof is really, really short. So this plays a lot different than it did before. This is a much taller building. And now it's something that you can kind of like slightly play around if you want, and is going to be a little more open and give you some more options to work with. And then of course, same thing applies over there. So let's head on over to yellow. Now let's do a little pushing. And then again, we can see zip line got changed. Zip line boost is slower. It definitely shows. It is definitely significantly slower. I don't think I can really properly see the boost effects right now while I'm on it, so I'm curious what that looks like from the other side. But then as we head into yellow, I feel like yellow doesn't look as different. I want to say there's actually something I think I missed that does stand out a bit. And we can see again on the map, you can see casting buff. Oh, and they actually just switched. What? Why did they switch? Oh, hang on. Oh, okay. That has to be again. That has to be unique to this game mode, huh? Yeah, I think that's unique to the Explore game mode. I'm guessing. I could be wrong. That's probably why Ern spawned early. Where is it? I think there's some spot around here that looks a lot different. Is it this? I think it's this. I don't know. Maybe it's really just from certain angles. But this right here, the archway, is pretty cool. As you kind of head into the jungle. And then we get to see some more art here. So again, we're getting more and more polish spread throughout the map. And I am assuming we will continue to see more and more to come, like especially in here. This will probably, when the game fully launches, will probably look a little more unique than kind of like Fairly Grey Room. It still looks better than it did once upon a time though. Like we've even got a light here. Although it's not Tarkov, so you can't shoot it out. Shame. Shame. Spirata. All right, back to yellow. Yeah, I feel like we'll probably see more stuff to come here in the near future. More art to polish things up, make the buildings look more unique. So let's actually get a lane pushed, unless we can't in this mode. Maybe I could just face tank, man. Fuck it. Oh. Oh my god, the patron the patron dies so much faster than the shrines with full protection. All right, how does this work? We transform. And oh, it does work like this. So it does kind of pop on open, and then you still get this little end section here, and that's when this opens up, which is interesting. You're way back in. Hang on, that is like the little gargoyle guys that end up shooting you. So this would be how we end the game.
Need some healing?
But let me heal on up a little bit. We're gonna try and do a quick little base dive and see if we can actually dive fountain. See if we can just dive the respawn. So of course, ending from here is gonna mostly be like normal. We just have the new structure to the whole base and everything. Yeah, where is everybody? That feels weird. Please, let me get deep, let me get deep, let me get deep. Oh, we can't dive, we can't dive. There's an invisible wall right here. Ha! Cheat death! Walled. Bozos, we're out of there. We're actually alive. Time to int. Time to int! There we go. There we go, man. There we go. So that is our look at the new map, the new heroes, or not new heroes. Sorry, in case anybody like actually came for just a second. The new map, the new hero art for some of the heroes, the new items, the entire item system rework, the general patch notes. Yes, it took like 3 entire hours. Oh my god, I am so tired. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. I will say there is a chance. I have to see how I'm feeling. I am actually sick right now. I'm sick for the first time in a while. Hopefully we can get, I am already exhausted from this. I am not going to upload a Deadlock video today on the new patch. Hopefully we can get a Deadlock video tomorrow. I will put a YouTube post up if I end up actually getting sick enough that it's going to be hard to get a Deadlock video up, which would suck. This is a very cool patch. I am very excited. But yeah, like I'm probably not even going to play the game for the rest of the day. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one.
I've been seeking for the glory. Say my name. And I've been trying to write my own story in the search for fame. I'm sitting here in this empty room. Walls keep tumbling down.